condolences to the families. I can only imagine what this has been like for them.
So, unfortunate end to this saga of trying to rescue what was not rescuable based on the evidence and the conclusion by these experts that it was loss of pressure, immediate implosion happened in a millisecond, a few milliseconds. And you've seen probably online some sort of artistic renderings of what that would have looked like. So that's what happened with the Titan.
Yeah, but the question is, should the pursuit of extreme adventures be outlawed or regulated or moderated by the government? I mean, this vessel, the Titan.
Is that a question? Is somebody asking that question?
I am. I mean, the Titan was not prepared to take the pressure, and this is the kind of pressure that was facing when you're 13,000 feet under the sea.
Really hard to imagine. It's one Empire State Building made of lead sitting on top of you at that level.
And he even admitted he got some of the parts for the Titan from Campers World.
A joystick is not the same thing as the engineering surrounding building a vessel that can withstand that sort of pressure. Number one. Number two, it wasn't built to withstand that kind of pressure. Well, how did it make previous trips then?
Well, they're saying that the stress on the vessel became because it had other previous trips.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. I mean, that's like saying the loss of cabin pressure in Payne Stewart's private jet should lead us to ban people from taking private jets.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. Who I feel sick for is Suleiman Dawood. Suleiman was 19 years old. He was on there with his father. He didn't want to go. And he decided to make the journey with him because his dad told him it was safe. And he wanted to have bonding time with his father. Here's his aunt.
He had a sense that this was not okay. And he was not very comfortable about doing it.
Well,
and what?
No, I'm saying he knew he didn't want to go on it.
He knew what?
He didn't. He had an intuition that something bad was going to happen. He was scared to go. It just makes me sad that he was the youngest person on the ship or on the Titanic.
Of course, it makes me sad. Of course, it's sad that any life is lost. But I mean, famed Titanic explorer Paul Henri Nargeolet was on that vessel too.
Yeah, and he's 77. He lived a good life.
I think you're missing the point.
Well,
so what is the point then? If
the point
you're
is
not missing it,
billionaires and their toys and what they, I mean, I'm obviously he didn't want to die or his son to die, but I just think that there should be an age limit, 21 maybe, if you're going to go on these extreme adventures in the pursuit of it, just in case something happens. And it did. And so is this Ocean Gate going to be dismantled, or are they going to?
Should we stop all exploration because of what happened on the Titan? In other words, that's the question you're asking. I can't believe there are people that would actually say yes to that, but maybe there are. I don't know. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Larry in Elmhurst, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. Hey, I can sum this up in 4 words. Curiosity killed the cat. You can watch the videos of the unmanned submersible go down there. Why do you even need to go down there?
Because they're bored. Because
yeah, thanks for the call, Larry. Yeah, why do you need to go down there? I don't know. Why did Sir Edmund Hillary need to climb Mount Everest? Who needs to do anything? The question is desire, want. I mean, really, people see no value in experience. You don't have to experience anything. You can watch it on TV or on the internet. Why experience anything? Why do anything? You can just watch somebody else do it.
Virtual golf, yeah.
Just watch somebody else do it. Why take the risk of getting hit by a golf ball at our outing yesterday? Just watch golf on TV.
You don't have to attack.
You don't have to play it. I mean, not that that's comparable in terms of risk profile. I understand, but I mean, this whole Why does anybody need to do anything? It's always why do you need? Why do you need a sport rifle? I don't need one. I want one. And why? And so the burden isn't on me to prove need. The burden is on you to prove why I should be prohibited from doing something or obtaining something, isn't it? Isn't that how it works in a free society? I mean, are people seriously thinking end exploration, end adventurism, below the sea,
in space,
above the sea, yeah,
Oh,
in
come on.
space? Well, we used to cheer. I mean, I think there's a lot of people still really interested, not just geeks either, interested in the Bezos and Musk's race to space and the sci-fi associated with colonizing Mars. Talk to Newt Gingrich about that. We used to receive people who accomplished incredible feats as like heroic. And
But
now
I see 'em as selfish.
we're going to scold them.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Think of others before yourself. There was a British millionaire.
What does that mean?
Well, like bringing your son. He's 19. He has his whole life to live. I don't know. I just thought that was an arrogant. Some people that have money maybe get arrogant and don't think about other people besides themselves. Like, this will be fun. We'll do something that no one's ever done before. Father-son bonding. And now he's dead. And let me introduce you to a millionaire. He signed up for the trip, but he had funny feeling. And he said, I had a very unusual feeling about the submarine and faithfully decided not to join the expedition. His name's Chris Brown, 61, told the media, quote, I was one of the first people to sign up for this trip with OceanGate while the submersible was being deployed. But he added he got an uneasy feeling and he dropped out because he was concerned about the quality of technology and materials used by the OceanGate expedition.
What?
They knew Josh Gates. He works for Discovery Channel. He was offered
They
a
knew
trip down there.
Who knew what?
Here's Josh Gates.
I just felt as though the sub needed more time and it needed more testing, frankly.
So Josh Gates from Discovery Channel, they got offered to go down and film this group touring the Titanic. And he just didn't like what he saw, so he didn't go.
I mean, I'm dumbfounded, really. So I need help. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. I feel like the devil in the Far Side cartoon watching a guy wheeling rocks around in Hades, whistling while he works, and saying to the devil next to me, I don't think we're getting to this guy. That's how I feel having this conversation. Mark and Rochelle, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I don't want to live in a world where we would, like, stop people from exploring or experimenting or taking risks. I mean, what if we would have determined that flying was too dangerous and we stopped the Wright brothers? And what if we stopped space exploration because the space shuttle blew up? I don't want to live in that world.
Thanks for the
What
call,
about the
Mark.
first responders from several countries, Canada, France, the U.S., that rushed to the scene? I mean, they could have put their lives in jeopardy trying to search for this crew.
Is that what you said about, speaking of the space, is that what you said about the space shuttle disaster?
Oh, that was awful. No.
So you're opposed to further space exploration?
What was it? NASA, wasn't that a part of the government? So they were, this was just.
It was part of the government, so it was
Right.
safe, except it blew up.
Yeah. Stupid O-ring. Who's going to pay for?
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for an answer. I'm
I know,
going to
this is
force you to
different.
follow your logic.
But this is different.
How
this
is it
is a
different?
ratty-tat put together piece of equipment.
What? Really? It's done the trip before.
I know, and I think the stress from the trip got, it was
Oh, really?
exacerbated, and then poof.
You think that based on your
My
knowledge of
my scuba diving and going
of-
down 96 feet as opposed to 13,000. I don't. Yeah.
you have made that conclusion based on your experience as a scuba diver, going down 20 feet,
Not 20 feet, 96 feet.
going down 100 feet. So
You don't
you
go down past that.
you have Oh, it's fascinating. So now,
well, no, you
so
have
you
the
have
pressure. Oh,
so you have
get the
obviously the
bends.
engineering chops
No, I
to
don't.
be able to comment on this
I can't
vessel.
comment at all. But
Well, you did
what
comment.
But from what I've seen from the CBS interview where they did a tour of the ship, and he talked, he bragged that, we did this we got this from Camping World, we got this from Home Depot, blah blah blah. It just seemed put together a little shoddily.
Yeah, right. Because of the dogged, contextual, consequential reporting that the media does about things they don't understand. Something else. This is also news to you. Risk associated with exploration. Shocking development. Superficial, misleading reporting by the press corps about things they don't understand. That is really stunning. Never seen anything from this group.
All those reporters who were virologists?
Yeah, right. Same group. But now, when it comes to things like engineering, I mean, that's where the media really
kicks it into high gear.
They really present themselves well. All those people with engineering degrees that go on to be stringers for network affiliates. Of course. Oh, my gosh. Ken in Plainfield.
Yeah, Amy just said that the 19-year-old had his whole life to live. He was living his life. You can't not live to stay alive. You can die crossing the street. Might as well die having fun doing something that's still alive. I crashed my bike 5 years ago, and I got a new bike, and everybody's like, well, aren't you afraid? You can't live life afraid of dying. Everybody's going to die sooner or later.
Well, my wish for that
guy. Thanks for the call, Ken.
I don't know why I think Buddy Guy's dead. My wish for the 19-year-old is that he would have advocated for himself and said, you know what, Dad, doesn't feel right. I don't want to go. That was my wish for him.
The whole dynamic, like we have a real sense into the father-son relationship here. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, too. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of teenagers, a lot of young people, a lot of old people who would love to take the risk of an adventure like this.
Yeah, but a lot of them
still would.
Parents don't have $250,000. That it costs $250,000.
That's not the point.
Son.
That actually sort of is the point. That's how rare this opportunity is. You should be grateful that you're in a position to have such an opportunity to make such a decision, because most people are not.
Okay, I see your point.
Matt, South Bend.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I was just going to mention, to boldly go where a few men have gone before, to push the envelope there, whatever prerequisites they had to go and take a sample trip. I mean, even if you go to Yellowstone and you're going to go out there's bears out there. You have to, if you're going to go wilderness camping, you got to sign up. You got to watch the video to know what you're going to do. So that's, I guess, the backstory that I'd like to see what prerequisites they had on it. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for the comment. I mean, Steve Fawcett, when Steve Fawcett's all of his adventures, were people saying, Steve. I mean, this isn't that long ago. Steve, stop it. You're crazy. You shouldn't be able to do it. The government should step in and take Steve Fawcett's toys away from him. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that to very few people that I've heard saying that about Elon Musk's toys or Jeff Bezos's toys, saying that about all those professional climbers and even amateur climbers who trek to 8,000-meter peaks every year to try to summit those peaks, Mount Everest and others, K2.
Well, should Ocean Gate pay the Navy for searching? The money that it costs to search for this vessel, or that's just
should
part of...
a boat that is disabled on the open sea that requires Coast Guard help, should they pay to? I mean, this is why we have this branch of the service.
Yeah. Okay. True. Lots of phone calls, huh?
Matt on the south side. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Dan and Amy, how are you?
Good.
Dan, I was figuring I'd help you out a little bit here, and ask Amy, why do her sons play basketball and risk injury in all the sports activities that they're involved in? And also, why do people still live in the city of Chicago with all the gang shootings?
Thanks for the call, Matt. Well,
They play basketball because they love it.
Well, that's not life and death, right? That's not a life and death risk. This is clearly, you understand, you sign a waiver saying, I understand I go on this trip, I could die. Same thing if you want to climb Mount Everest. But
those waivers are fun.
But I mean, but right. I just I can't get my head around people who are attacking this Stockton Rush, this adventurer, this adventurism, the number of people who've already done this trip, and not just with this company, previous to this company's existence, as we talked about yesterday. But I'll tell you what, I do understand that Stockton Rush deserved to die. I do understand he deserved to die.
Oh, come on. I didn't.
No, I'm not saying you're saying that.
What?
I understand that he deserved to die because I read the New Republic. And what I found out from the New Republic, this headline reads, Ocean Gate CEO missing in Titanic sub. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Had a history
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
donating to Republican candidates.
Oh, my God. The dogs are barking. No.
So he deserved it. It's just sad that he had to take people down with him. That's what apparently the left's view is. And by the way, I'm doing exactly what the left did to me when I posted the rap sheet of the guy who was killed in Willowbrook last weekend. Oh, so he deserved to die? Of course he didn't deserve to die. No one is advocating for the shooting or the killing of anyone. I certainly am not. I'm providing context because you don't get to distort the story or the individual because he met an unfortunate end.
Yeah, they want to change history.
So I'm just sort of doing back to them what they tried to do to me, and the New Republic provides me the great opportunity to do it. But yeah, the New Republic goes through in painstaking detail his $1,500 donations to some congressman in Texas.
Who cares?
They care. Why do they care? Bad guy. Stockton Rush donated to Republican candidates. All right, coming up at 6:06. Speaking of bad guys, we have more and more and more on Hunter Biden. The fun just keeps piling up with old Hunter, the blow artist, at 6:06.
And he also likes to text. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
The body of a missing swimmer recovered from Lake Michigan. Cook County judge facing more allegations of misconduct. Tony Preckwinkle unveils a proposed Cook County budget. The governor extends the cocktails to go law. Cubs and Cardinals clashing in their London series. White Sox host the Red Sox. And WIND Chicago News Time. 6 o'clock.
The U.S. knew that submersible may have been lost days ago. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The search for it ended yesterday when underwater robots found debris.
This was a catastrophic implosion of the vessel.
Coast Guard Rear Admiral John Mauger says 5 people on board were killed as they descended to tour the Titanic shipwreck, and now we're learning.
The U.S. Navy picked up the sound of an implosion or explosion just hours after the Titan began its voyage on Sunday through a top-secret U.S. military acoustic detection system used to spot enemy submarines. The search and rescue mission continued in part because the Navy intel was not definitive.
That's Fox's Brian Yennis in Boston. Tropical storm Brett is hitting some Caribbean islands, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Martinique. Right behind it is Tropical Storm Cindy.
Expected to move north and west. And, the East Coast is going to have to watch this for possible indirect impacts like rip currents.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean. Days after we learned President Biden's son Hunter's worked out a deal to plead guilty to 2 tax evasion misdemeanors and to resolve a felony gun charge. House Republicans have released testimony from 2 IRS whistleblowers alleging the Department of Justice interfered with the Biden probe. Ways and Means Committee Chair Jason Smith tells Fox.
They delayed, they divulged, and they denied numerous examples of where these investigators tried to go into further prosecution of Hunter Biden.
The House's Democratic leader says the favoritism allegation is not serious. It'll get easier to get around Philadelphia today. They'll reopen Interstate 95 with a temporary road build just 12 days after a fiery tanker truck crash collapsed a section of I-95. And to help speed things up, they brought in a drying machine for the pavement from Pocono Raceway.
It's essentially a jet engine mounted on a Chevy Silverado.
Pennsylvania Transportation Secretary Michael Carroll. America's listening to Fox News.
We have 66 degrees. We'll start the weekend with clear skies. 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A woman accused of instructing her teenage son to kill a man at a Chicago hot dog stand last weekend. Carlisha Hood and her 14-year-old son are both facing murder charges. The pair was arrested Wednesday after they were identified as suspects in the deadly shooting of a man at the Maxwell Street hot dog stand Sunday night. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office is confirming that the body of a missing swimmer has been recovered from Lake Michigan near Foster Avenue Beach. The woman identified as Amy Keltz, the 20-year-old, was last seen struggling to swim to shore Wednesday night. Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle unveiling the county's proposed fiscal year budget for 2024. Preckwinkle is confident she'll be able to fill the budget gap without raising taxes or fees. One issue they're facing, about 4,000 unfilled jobs. 700 of those jobs are nurses.
We do need to staff up. I think the folks who are with us just work really hard to fill in the gaps. We're doing a good job given the fact that we do have a considerable number of vacancies. I just think the folks who are with us just work really hard to fill in the gaps.
Authorities are investigating a deadly motorcycle crash on the north side. A man was riding that motorcycle last night when he hit the center median in the 7700 block of North Sheridan Road. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Governor Pritzker is extending Illinois' cocktails to go law for another 5 years. Governor signing the measure earlier this month. It now extends that law until August 1st of 2028. It allows curbside pickup and delivery of mixed drinks and single servings of wine for consumption off premises. Cubs take on the Cardinals in London this weekend, while the White Sox battle the Red Sox at Guaranteed Rate tonight. The Bulls do actually end up with a draft pick last night in the NBA draft, trading future second-round picks to Washington in order to select a project Tennessee forward Julian Phillips with the number 35 selection overall. The news, a service of MyPillow. Big news, brand new MyPillow 2.0. Now buy one, get one free with promo code LIBERTY. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Charlie Kirk goes on the attack.
I'm exhausted talking about the Biden thing. It doesn't interest me, but I have to get over that. With Jim Jordan and Speaker McCarthy, we have to now say, okay, you're going to run this crook for the White House in 2024. Equal and opposite reaction, folks. This guy is the El Chapo of political corruption. He is the kingpin.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called Testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text LION to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text LION to 321321. That's LION to 321321.
It's a big deal because your finances are a really big deal. Wintrust Community Banks would like to announce our newest and greatest 11-month CD rate with a whopping 5.35% APY. Act now and you can lock in 5.35%. Just go to wintrust.com/locknewrates and start earning more. Annual percentage yield accurate as of May 5th, 2023 and assumes funds remain on deposit until maturity. Minimum daily balance of 1 cent required to obtain APY. $1,000 minimum to open. New money only. Offer may change at any time and without notice. Member FDIC.
Guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low testosterone. Schedule your complete health assessment at Low T Center. They now offer the convenience of monitored, self-inject, at-home testosterone treatments for $150 a month cash pay or covered by most health insurance. If you don't live near Low T Center or you just need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy to get started on treatment. Only your first 2 visits are in person. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
6:07. Let's get an update on the roads. We do that, of course, in our Team Hochberg Traffic Center. Eden's inbound 17, Lake Cook Road to the junction. The Kennedy already at 44 minutes inbound from O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Northbound I-55 remains shut down between Route 53 and Joliet Road. No access available in that zone because of a fatal car semi-crash that occurred around 3 a.m. I-55 on the southbound side, you have gapers to that northbound crash, already picking up big delays this morning. And the Dan Ryan Express lanes are jammed 47 into the Stevenson. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Sunny skies today, the high 85. It'll be clear tonight, low down to 65. Partly sunny for tomorrow, a little bit warmer, high 89. Clouds and sun, thunderstorm, breezy day on Sunday. The high Sunday afternoon, 82. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Officially cloudy at O'Hare. And at 6:08, it's time to visit signaturebank.bank and time to check those updated temperatures. 66 at O'Hare, 70 at Midway, but 54 in Aurora. And your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Say what you want about House Republicans and bring skepticism to the table. Completely understandable and legitimate. But also assess work product and approach. And when it comes to getting after Biden Incorporated, since they have assumed control of the House, I think that congressmen like Jim Comer and Jim Jordan and Jason Smith, along with Speaker McCarthy, deserve high marks. So far, the course isn't over, so the grades can change, but so far. And in a shrewd move yesterday, Representative Jason Smith, who chairs the Ways and Means Committee, released transcripts of testimony from IRS whistleblowers that provide new and important contextual information as well as evidentiary support for the claims that the whistleblowers are making. This is good stuff. We find that don't blame, I mean, really, you basically, how about this for a dynamic? Don't blame the IRS. The IRS isn't the bad guy in this story. The Department of Justice is. U.S. Attorney David Weiss in Delaware, maybe, according to this testimony that was released yesterday, not the bad guy in this story. He's not the one doing Biden's bidding. It's Merrick Garland. Think bigger. Go higher. Here's Jason Smith announcing the release of these transcripts and detailing, in general terms, what they contained.
There are 3 areas of focus in the transcripts of interviews with whistleblowers. Number 1, the federal government is not treating taxpayers equally when enforcing tax laws. Number 2, whistleblowers claim the Biden Department of Justice is intervening and overstepping when it comes to the investigation of the president's son. And number 3, these whistleblowers report they have faced almost immediate retaliation.
So let's
go through the text.
Well, yeah, and let's push off the whistleblowers facing retaliation. That's fairly straightforward. But the other 2 areas, unequal treatment by the IRS, meaning beneficial treatment, special treatment in a positive direction for the target in the case of Hunter Biden, and then the DOJ intervening on behalf of the Bidens. Unequal treatment. Here's more of Jason Smith on that.
The testimony we released today shows the IRS recommended charges against Hunter Biden that included attempt to evade or defeat tax, a felony, fraud or false statements, a felony, and willful failure to file returns, supply information, or pay tax. These tax crimes cover an estimated $2.2 million in unreported tax on global income streams to Mr. Biden and his associates from Ukraine, Romania, and China, totaling $17.3 million from 2014 to 2019. Mr. Biden personally received $8.3 million.
Those are bigger numbers than we've heard previously reported. They include more countries. And the important thing, of course, is the IRS recommending the series of felony charges that Jason Smith just described.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
By the way, it's not just monies from foreign nationals. This is great. Hunter Biden kicked out of $10,000 sex club for grabbing women's asses and acting like a spoiled child. This is really something when you're...
What city was this in now?
New York. This is something... This is really something where you're getting... you can call... or you can't count on, I suppose, Damon Lawner as a character witness. Damon Lawner, who founded the notorious SNCTM Club in New York and I think elsewhere, basically like an Eyes Wide Shut sex club.
Okay.
He said Hunter is a really bad guy, not a good person. He's just not. He paid $10,000 to be part of this sex club.
Gross.
Uh-huh. On their first and only visit, Hunter and his female companion acted so rude to upscale female members, grabbing women's asses and other behavior that went against the club rules. He was asked to leave and he was banned from future events. He got kicked out of a sex club. But that's not...
That says a lot about his character or lack of character.
I mean, so much of it does, but
But
that's
he's
not...
an illness, Dan. He's
that,
a sexaholic.
I know. He's struggling with addiction, and how dare I? I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're so cruel. You don't care.
That's not the most fun part. The most fun part is he illegally deducted tens of thousands of dollars in payments made to prostitutes as well as sex clubs from his taxes.
Oh.
Those are business expenses.
Oh, right. Because they were talking business.
Well, I guess the argument would go, and the Department of Justice, Merrick Garland, accepted this. Getting busy is Hunter's business.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
Getting busy with business.
Yeah. One whistleblower from the IRS,
best.
Hunter went to great lengths to underreport his income and avoid paying $106,000 in taxes by writing off his sex escapades as business expenses. And the IRS wasn't buying it, but Merrick Garland was, and that's the important thing. All right, this other piece, too.
Yes.
What U.S. Attorney David Weiss in Delaware, who cut this deal with Biden, according to the testimony, he tried to follow the IRS's recommendations here.
Testimony shows that U.S. Attorney of Delaware David Weiss tried to bring charges in the District of Columbia around March of 2022 and was denied. Weiss sought special counsel status from the DOJ in the spring of 2022 and was once again denied. Weiss sought to bring charges in the Central District of California in the fall of 2022 and had that request denied in January of 2023. Yet U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland told Congress that Weiss had all the authority necessary to pursue the charges. Well, which is it?
I think we know which it is, and I think Jason Smith does too. So don't blame, I mean, again, just to repeat.
Don't blame the IRS.
Don't blame the IRS.
Not
Something
this time.
Something you don't get to say a lot. Don't blame David Weiss. And, our criticism of him, we have to take some of it back if this is true. Go higher. Go right to the top. Merrick Garland, the big guy, Christopher Wray, FBI, DOJ, POTUS. And there's more that was revealed about POTUS and Hunter.
Yeah.
And them communicating together.
Because the IRS whistleblowers gave over text messages. This was yesterday from the WhatsApp. You have the WhatsApp.
Yeah.
The WhatsApp platform. In August 2020. All right. This is between a text message between Hunter and Henry Zhao. He's an executive at a Chinese company that paid Hunter Biden $100,000. The text message mentioned Joe Biden repeatedly. This is what it was. Quote, I'm sitting here with my father and would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand. And now means tonight. And Z, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Shang or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father.
All right. Now we're gonna go. We're gonna go to my sex club to grab some women's asses, and we'll be back in an hour. That money better be there, buddy.
Oh, who the heck do these people think they are?
If that's true, as the Wall Street Journal reports about this allegation and that text message, that WhatsApp message,
I believe the whistleblowers.
and I also believe that that's an authentic text message because I believe Hunter's on WhatsApp because that's where you traffic in pornography and
he was so careless
anonymous
with everything.
sexual stuff.
Everything. So why would he be careless with WhatsApp?
If Wall Street Journal opining, if this is true, then Hunter was threatening a foreign business partner with retribution from Joe Biden, who is then the former vice president and potential future presidential candidate.
Because they know Biden's besties with Obama, and you might one of my friends, my dad's associates. Yeah, that's pretty deep stuff.
Well, Obama's out of office too, but that's but the point is right that
influence over him.
And remember, we're told from the beginning that he's very proud of his son, and he had nothing to do with his business dealings. Doesn't know anything about it, and we're also told that he's done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Even though he's pleading out to these misdemeanor charges. And we're going to have denial after denial after denial. That more denials will come because these are whistleblower allegations. We do have that WhatsApp message, so that is
That's
a piece of
huge.
evidence if it can be authenticated. And like the laptop was authenticated, for example. So let's just understand where we are, and we'll see how long the denials can hold up with press support under the weight of increasing evidence and questions that are not going to go away by the big guy just saying that's a dumb question. Rick in Downers Grove, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. And my question is, so what's going to happen to these people other than Gutfeld at night making fun of them a little bit and we're talking about it and everybody getting upset that we got to play by the rules? They don't. They lied like Merrick Garland lied to Congress. And when the dust all settles, nothing happens to these people.
Well, we'll see.
And it's just,
We'll see. I get the skepticism. I understand it, and I don't think it's inappropriate. But we'll see. I mean, it could be just simply political. It could irreparably damage his reelection. It could sideline him from pursuing reelection, depending on what is there. It could implicate Merrick Garland if there are other communications that can be corroborated. Maybe David Weiss wants to start talking now that the whistleblower has made these assertions, because if I was a dogged reporter, I would ask David Weiss, so this is why 5 years and it took this long and you're doing this plea agreement, and then that doesn't make sense because U.S. attorneys don't do misdemeanor prosecutions. So what were you doing? Oh, this is why, because you tried to do the right thing and you were called off by Garland. Is that the case? Let's start asking people questions and decide who wants to put their career on the line in defense of this influence peddling operation called Biden Inc.
Such a shakedown. And Hunter Biden doesn't go before, it doesn't have to be into that Delaware courtroom until July 27th. Talk about the wheels of justice spinning slowly. I mean, that's when he's going to enter his not guilty plea or do the plea deal. But still, isn't there time for U.S. Attorney David Weiss to change his mind or press more charges?
Well, he said, Weiss's office said the investigation is ongoing, essentially indicating they were moving beyond now the tax and gun issues to other issues of money laundering, alleged money laundering, and so forth. We'll see. Ed in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan, my question is, let's say you were convicted of the same stuff that Hunter did, and can you go, and you were put in jail, can you go back and try and get your record cleaned up or charges reduced or anything based on the history now that the precedent that they just set?
Not really. Thanks for the call, Ed. You can't comparison shop. You gave this guy this much, and you gave me that much. It's not about what I gave this guy versus what I gave you, the judge would say. It's about what's allowable under sentencing guidelines. And with respect to plea bargains, it's the prosecutor's discretion to enter into plea bargains consistent with, again, sentencing guidelines for particular crimes, and if there's and absent any evidence of prosecutorial misconduct or the prosecutor being conflicted, no.
I just, and also too, what did Hunter Biden do for Henry Zhao's Chinese company that, was able to pay him $100,000? What work was done?
What did he do for any of this stuff?
I mean,
what did he do
nothing.
for Burisma? What did he do for the Chinese communists who invested in his private equity fund, Rosemont Seneca Partners? What's his expertise except obviously his
prostitutes?
Getting busy.
Well, he's getting busy.
Getting
with it.
busy
Getting
is
kicked out of sex clubs.
Is one area of expertise, and then
What a waste of
obviously,
money.
the blow art. Glenn in Oak Brook.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Listen, there's so much corruption in the government. There's got to be a ton of people that can be potential whistleblowers. And I would really tell everybody who knows about corruption in as a government employee to come forward as a whistleblower and expose all this. It's your duty to do this, and be honorable, and become a whistleblower and expose the corruption. Do it for your country, do it for your kids, do it for your family, but don't stay silent.
Thanks for the call, Glenn. Why don't we have Mark Kay take us out of this segment? Mark Kay has penned a little ditty, nicely set to ukulele. You don't get that much anymore. There's a little Tiny Tim influence here.
You do with your friends, your hillbilly friends in Dwight.
Banjo, not ukulele.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. Mark Kay, his offering the Joe Biden song.
If you want to rob a bank or run a red light, there is something you should do first that'll make it all right. You can break any law without any oversight if you change your last name to Biden. You can lie to the feds and just act like a jerk. Make a crap ton of money without doing any work. Plus, you can grope other men's wives as an added perk if you change your last name to Biden. You can take millions of dollars in illegal bribes and then cover it all up with a bunch of lies. Your son can have sex with his dead brother's wife if you change your last name to Biden. The IRS, the DOJ, the FBI, do whatever you say. You can have all of your enemies locked away if you change your last name to Biden. You can arrest Republican candidates without probable cause. Keep top secret documents in your unsecured garage. You can give underage girls a creepy shoulder massage if you change your last name to Biden. Get hundreds of people killed in Afghanistan. Take selfies at the White House with a topless trans man. And you can even run for president without being able to stand. You can do it if your last name is Biden. Nothing to it if your last name is Biden. It's against the law? Screw it. Your last name is Biden.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
So, Dan, not only did your foursome win the afternoon match, 20 under, you got the longest drive. How long was it?
It's like 290-ish.
Oh, like 290-ish?
Into the wind.
Oh,
it was into
look
the
at
wind.
You're so humble.
I'm just saying. I'm saying what it was because I hit a couple that were north of 300.
North of 300.
And by the way, you're welcome.
Oh, yes, because you gave Peyton and Eli and I the $25 Amazon gift card that you won.
Hey, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We will use it.
And my magnanimity, yes.
All right, balance of nature. Yes, I met a lot of people at our golf tournament yesterday who take it, swear by it. So do I. It gives you more energy and gives you the ability to keep doing what you love even as you get older. Why? 31 different whole fruits and vegetables in those bad boys because you have to admit you're not getting enough fruits and veggies on your own, and that's where balance of nature comes in. They take the fruits and veggies and they turn into powder after an advanced vacuum cold process, which stabilizes the maximum nutrient content. Real nutrition, real science, real food. It's balance of nature. So get the nutrition your body needs. 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or simply go online to balanceofnature.com and be sure to use discount code Chicago.
Are you a business owner with a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, and a plan for growth, but you just need the right bank? Hi, Mike Gallagher here, letting you know that Signature Bank is all about going the distance for commercial banking customers. It's what Signature Bank does every day. Their team understands that accessibility is key to their culture. In times like these, you want a bank that is there for you to weather the bad times and capitalize on the good. And with Signature Bank by your side, you can't go wrong. It's a true partnership. That's why Signature Bank in Chicago is my bank. That's right, I'm a customer. I believe in what they have to offer, from innovative tech and customized solutions to help your business grow and thrive. Reach out to my friends at Signature Bank. Call 773-467-5630, 773-467-5630, or visit them online at signaturebank.bank. That's signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank makes commercial banking personal. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Markets and money with the capitalist pig, Jonathan Honig, 636.
And later, how much money do you need to call yourself rich? And now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
66 degrees, 632. Tributes are pouring in worldwide after Thursday's announcement that the missing Titanic-bound submersible and its crew of 5 were lost. Fox's Brian Yennis this morning is in Boston.
The Wall Street Journal first reported that the U.S. Navy picked up the sound of an implosion or explosion just hours after the Titan began its voyage on Sunday through a top-secret U.S. military acoustic detection system used to spot enemy submarines. A U.S. Navy official confirming with Fox News, quote, the U.S. Navy detected an anomaly consistent with an implosion or explosion in the general vicinity of where the Titan submersible was operating when communications were lost.
The Coast Guard says the tail cone of the Titan was found just about 1,600 feet from the wreckage of the Titanic. Congressional Republicans wanted to impeach President Biden over what they see as inaction at the southern border. The push was led by Chip Roy of Texas.
Data that we have shows that 125 individuals from the terrorist watch list have been encountered this fiscal year alone.
There was pushback on the House floor from Massachusetts Democrats like Jim McGovern. House Republicans later put off the effort to impeach President Biden. Parts of Colorado are still reeling from a storm that included a tornado and baseball-sized hail on Thursday. California's public pension fund says the personal data of around 750,000 retired workers, including Social Security numbers, has been stolen in a breach of a popular file transfer application by a Russian ransomware gang. The FBI is investigating after a suspicious substance was mailed to Republican lawmakers in Tennessee. A legislative office building in Nashville went into lockdown Thursday afternoon as hazmat teams came to investigate. A woman is accused of instructing her teenage son to kill a man at a Chicago hot dog stand last weekend. Carlisha Hood and her 14-year-old son are both facing murder charges.
Argument between the victim and the defendant turned physical when the victim punched the defendant in the head approximately 3 times.
Police say the pair was arrested Wednesday after they were identified as suspects in the deadly shooting of a man at the Maxwell Street Express on Sunday night. Cook County Medical Examiner's Office confirming the body of a missing swimmer recovered from Lake Michigan is that of Amy Keltz of Aurora. The body recovered near Foster Avenue Beach. The 20-year-old was last seen swimming there Wednesday night and struggling to swim to shore. Electric vehicle maker Rivian has agreed to adopt Tesla's charging standard, giving customers access to the largest charging network in the country. Customers of the Bloomington-based electric pickup maker will be able to access 1,200 Tesla superchargers with adapters as early as spring of 2024. America's pastime is back across the pond this weekend. Cubs and Cardinals playing 2 in London. White Sox take on the Red Sox tonight. while the Bulls end up with a draft pick in the 2023 draft after all, sending a pair of future second-round picks to Washington in order to select Tennessee forward Julian Phillips. The news service of MyPillow, the brand new MyPillow 2.0, is now buy one, get one free with promo code LIBERTY. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Brandon Tatum has lost trust.
I do not have confidence that this particular indictment, none of them, to be honest, are done in good faith. I don't have the confidence that they are not attempting to use political leverage to attack an opponent.
The Officer Tatum Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
What happens when America's debt bubble finally bursts? The dollar's value would be destroyed along with the value of your 401k or IRA. And this would be a total catastrophe for the nation. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and the debt bubble is just one more reason why I recommend diversifying your retirement account into physical gold. Gold can preserve your savings through almost anything, and if you take advantage of a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you pay zero penalties or taxes when you transfer your current retirement funds. To learn more, text the word HEDGE to 989898. And my friends at Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text HEDGE to 989898 to request your free info kit on gold IRAs right now.
Relief Factor, pain relief that's natural, pain relief that works, and pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at ReliefFactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. ReliefFactor.com, ReliefFactor.com. Be the next success story.
Hi, Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. Step up your grilling game with our Solaire portable infrared grills. Our compact everywhere is a favorite of RVers and trailer pullers. Solaire Infrared provides the quick sear for bar marks and texture needed to properly finish sous vide. Use a portable alongside your larger conventional grill to create an instant sear zone and more juicy and flavorful food. Learn more at BestHotGrill.com. Affordable, powerful, portable infrared grills at BestHotGrill.com.
6:38. Let's get an update on the roads. In our Team Hochberg Traffic Center, a service of Verizon. You better make that next turn into a Verizon store because My Plan from Verizon is the kind of control you deserve. Get exactly what you want, only pay for what you need. Get My Plan at your Verizon store today. The Kennedy sitting right now at 52 minutes inbound, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. The Ike is at 35. 390 into the old post office. Northbound 55 is jammed because of a much earlier accident, and they have closed I-55 between Route 53 and Joliet Road. That fatal crash investigation continues there. The Stevenson Main Line appears to be unaffected once you're on it. 28 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Stevenson outbound disabled vehicle blocking a center lane between First Avenue and LaGrange Road. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast, mostly sunny and 85 today. 66 right now. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Don't just put it all on BLM Brandon. Alderhuman Timmy Knutson, or Knutson.
Knutson.
Is the Knutson
Swedish.
Is the K silent or
No.
not silent?
Knutson.
Knutson?
Knutson.
Don't really care. I think I like Knutson better.
I like Knutson better, too.
Reminds me of
What?
No Good News is Good News with Gary Gnu. Anyway, Alderhuman Timmy Knutson.
Knutson. Yes.
He is doing something to bring the city back from the brink.
Oh, what grandiose
Yeah.
idea does he have?
Mm-hmm. He tweeted out extensively. Today, I introduce an anti-idling ordinance prohibiting all internal combustion-powered vehicles from idling or running while not in movement for more than 3 minutes. You will be timed.
Are you kidding me? There's such a thing as warming up your car in the wintertime.
I mean-
It takes more than 3 minutes, Dan.
As you know,
How can we live like this?
I don't kid when the topic is the internal combustion engine. This is not a kidding matter. The ordinance, Alderhuman Timmy Knutson goes on to say, is about the environment.
Oh, of course.
Cars are the biggest pollutant and contributor to global warming in Illinois and the city of Chicago.
Oh, where's the research for that?
An anti-idling, or he doesn't need research. He's an Alderhuman.
I need the science and the data.
An anti-idling ordinance reduces emissions. This ordinance is also about pedestrian, bike, and traffic safety. This ordinance accomplishes so much, especially in urban areas. Idling causes congestion. They block bike lanes and create blind spots, increasing accidents. An anti-idling ordinance saves lives.
Oh.
He's saving lives. Do you think
we
he's
better
done?
start talking to some Amazon and UPS delivery.
Do you think
truck.
he's done talking
Oh.
about his anti-idling ordinance?
Sorry, no.
No.
Excuse me, Dan. You have the floor.
Saving lives. There's more.
Okay, I'm listening.
Don't you want to hear all the benefits?
Yes.
The ordinance is also about kids, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what? It's for the children, as Justin and I always say.
One of the main sites of idling vehicles are schools during pickup and drop-off.
Oh, moms, you're there too early.
And those idling vehicles at schools during pickup and drop-off are putting kids in the direct line of harmful emissions. An anti-idling ordinance protects kids' health. In other words, it saves kids' lives, people.
But there's other kids in the car who might need air conditioning or heat while they're waiting for little Junior to come out of the school.
By the way, this Alderhuman calls himself Alder, and he said, please call your alders like your elders.
Well, because you don't want alderman. That's gender bias.
Why not Alderhuman?
Alder person. Is what
Alderhuman.
a lot of people are using too.
Alder carbon-based life form.
I should see what my alderman is calling himself these days.
So to review,
Matt Malin. Yes.
You have 3 minutes to idle. Because after that, you're destroying the planet, you're causing a public safety crisis, and you're harming kids. And Alderhuman Timmy Knutson will have none of it. 3 minutes. I'll tell you what, there's the summer, not summer, there's the annual jobs program for BLM Brandon. Have all of these young people walk around with stopwatches and write
And just
tickets
like,
for people that idle for more than 3 minutes.
10 seconds, sir. 5, 4. Okay, here's a ticket for you. Yeah, it's another source of income for the city of Chicago, you know. Do you want to hear this real quick? There's this racket going on in the city. If you have a cracked sidewalk in front of your house, which we do and we've had forever, and I watch kids on their tricycles fall over, fly off their bikes.
Exactly. It imperils kids' lives.
You want to talk about saving lives?
If you
Fix the
step on that,
sidewalks.
if you step on that crack,
You're
you
gonna
break your mama's back.
But listen to this. So I
Exactly.
called the alderman's office.
Alderhuman.
Or Alder.
Alder.
Malin,
I'll
what's
accept
his
that.
name? Matt, whatever. Dingbat. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that guy is.
Mhm.
Ooh, he get hit with the stick, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So he, one of his toadies, said, "Well, let Mrs. Jacobson, I want to tell you about this wonderful program we have. If you want your sidewalk fixed right away, you could donate $500 to rebuild the sidewalk. And I said, what are you talking about? I said, this is your property. I pay taxes. Kids are getting injured. He's like, well, this program, it'll allow you to get to the top of the line to get your sidewalk fixed, but it's $500. I said, people actually pay this? He goes, oh, yes, a number of concerned citizens that want to help out and give back. Because we all got to step up, Dad.
And then what you
said
do,
that
yeah.
if I give $500, then they'll fix my sidewalk. And I said,
Right.
well, I'm not giving you $500 because I give you such and such in property taxes every year, and I have no police protection, and my schools suck.
Mm-hmm.
So
make that $500 check out to my campaign committee, then I'll make sure it gets to the sidewalk fund.
They didn't say that, though. They didn't say if you bring a bag of cash and meet me at Lincoln and Damon at the stop sign.
For more on all the wonders that are occurring in the city and the country, please be joined by Jonathan Honig, founding member of the Capitalist Big Hedge Fund, Fox News contributor, author of a new textbook of Americanism, The Politics of Ayn Rand. Jonathan, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Please refer to me as Alder Honig.
Alder Honig.
I like
that.
Yeah.
It's nice. It has a ring to it, doesn't it? All right. So I know that we have a bit of a population exodus and an associated business exodus here. Has got to have a little bit of a brain drain. How much do you think that will be turned around by the anti-idling ordinance?
I mean, Dan, you can't underestimate, and Dan and Amy, it's great to be with you both, but you can't underestimate how serious this is. You're right. I mean, as we've been hearing now, people are leaving the so-called blue states. They're heading to the so-called red states, Illinois in particular. But, people leave. It's not just the people, of course. It is the businesses. And, BLS had some pretty interesting studies out yesterday, basically trying to chart where are businesses leaving and where are they going. They're leaving 3 states in particular, folks: California, New York, and, wait for it, Illinois. So, this is what's really worrying me long term. I mean, as you said, all the initiatives by government, which has gotten us into this pension mess, gotten us into this economic morass in Illinois, all they're doing is driving the businesses. I mean, business is the lifeblood of the economy. It's the lifeblood of prosperity. If you don't have entrepreneurs willing to take a risk, you don't have the economy. And all of these initiatives are driving them out and driving our own local economy even further into the gutter.
I don't even I know Terry Duffy, at CME, saying, if you go to Springfield and you get a transaction tax approved, then we're going to be out of here. Well, why are you not out of here anyway? I mean, when you could put your servers anywhere in the world, why are you here? I mean, maybe it's just for the convenience of Terry Duffy, but I don't understand why businesses that don't have to operate here remain, because what are the prospects that this is going to get more friendly anytime in the near future?
Well, so many of them, Dan and Amy, as you know, and you've charted and talked about for years now, are leaving. Now, the CME, this is my own estimation. I used to be a trader down there. They have particular, I think, allegiance, dedication perhaps to the city, but companies like Citadel, for example, which is a major global trading firm that was in Chicago, they don't have those allegiances. They simply get up and move. And you go down to places like Tampa, Florida.
Well,
Miami,
but
Florida.
wait a second. Ken Griffin, with respect to allegiance, I mean, frankly, Ken Griffin did more philanthropically in the city of Chicago and for the city of Chicago than Terry Duffy or anybody at CME or anybody in the city, frankly. I mean, it is like the Ken Griffin Museum of Science and Industry, and it was $30 million to the Art Institute and bike trails and politics and everything else. So agree or disagree with Ken Griffin, and I disagree with him often on things. But
I love
but I mean, he was committed to the city, and at some point, when employees aren't safe and you're held out as the guy wearing the black hat, it just becomes nonsensical to be here. But it wasn't a failure of allegiance to the city.
Well, I think you're right, Dan. Look, capital moves to where it's treated favorably, and you can't have a business, as you said, where employees are having to duck the flying lead when they're heading to work. When there's just no police protection, when the crime is out of control, and taxes are out of control. So, I think, again, my estimation, Ken Griffin kind of probably had it up to his was, and we chased him away, right? Our own policies chased, and it's not just Ken Griffin. I mean, there's, many of your listeners, they're not Ken Griffin necessarily, but they've got thriving small businesses, maybe 2, 3, 4 employees, and even if they don't leave, they can't prosper. Their businesses are shut down or curtailed because of all these, a little 1% here, little transaction tax here, little idling fees there. I mean, it does everything they can to suffocate the small entrepreneur simply trying to not be on the dole, take care of him or herself and their families.
All right, now, you know the old joke about economists have predicted 12 of the last 5 recessions. We still have the same thing going on here. We've got the inverted yield curve again, and so we're going to see a recession. But we've been saying that for, or analysts have been saying that for the better part of the last 6 months.
Even more of a year, Dan. You're right. Look, it's not the perfect when it comes to timing, and we know in the economy it is all in the timing. But if you want a near perfect early warning indicator, this is it. And it's exactly as you mentioned, this inverted yield curve. Basically, when short-term interest rates are higher than long-term interest rates, this is in fact, it is a perfect indication of the recession. It has been accurately predicted the last 5 recessions. And now that inversion is basically the most historically steep as it's ever been. Now, it doesn't tell us when, but, Dan, you've got a record number of Americans borrowing from their 401ks. Credit card debt is an all-time high. So you're starting to see a lot of indications that basically the foundations of the economy are starting to crack.
Something else I saw as well, which actually surprised me a bit, takes a lot to surprise me, that charitable contributions were down year over year.
Yeah. I mean, and this is
That's
real
unusual.
thing. It is. I mean, it's only happened 4 times in 40 years. With all the talk about, greedy capitalists just swimming in their pool of gold, screwing the poor. In America's tremendously charitable, always has been, except for 4 occasions, Dan and Amy, 4 times in the last 40 years. It was after 1987, the stock market crash, 2008, 2009, and 2022. This is the year Biden said inflation's ebbing. The economy is roaring back. So you've got now Americans cutting back on their charitable giving. So, if you're concerned about the poor, you should want the economy. You should want exactly those much maligned businesses to prosper. They're the ones that fund the charities that help the poor and help everyone else. They're the ones suffering given the weak economy and still high inflation.
And what's going on with gas prices? I mean, I know it's the summer months and you have 4th of July coming up next week, but I mean, is this price gouging or is this really supply and demand or what's going on?
Oh, there is no such thing as price gouging,
Correct.
especially when I don't know. Dan, work on Amy here.
That's what Biden. No, I'm repeating what Biden said. Biden said these oil companies are greedy, Jonathan.
Well, it's funny. It's like they weren't greedy when prices went negative, a couple of years ago. I guess they just didn't feel like being greedy then. I mean, This is that old standard. Whenever prices go high, they don't blame the environmentalist movement. They don't blame the taxes, which still account for the biggest percentage of what you actually pay at the pump. They blame the so-called greedy oil companies, which are, the ones risking their life, limb, and money to get the oil out of the ground. Amy, what we're seeing is the continuing impact of inflation. Once again, it's just not a genie that is once it's out of the bag, it can't be stuffed back in the bottle. And even in the 70s, inflation went down pretty dramatically from 73 to 74. Then it was more than double just 2 years later. So, Biden's taking a victory lap that inflation's going down. Meanwhile, oil prices and gas prices here on the ground are going up.
Don't you love it? Don't you love this whole line of argumentation you always hear from the left about the greedy this and the greedy that? So let me get this. The oil and gas companies that find the product and bring the product to market and make 3 cents a gallon on gas, they're greedy. And the state of Illinois, which takes 45 cents per gallon of something they had nothing to do with, they're not greedy.
So appropriate, Dan. So spot on. And in fact, even when you go to your, the corner this morning, it's not like, you don't see one gas station. You usually see 2 on opposite corners, each trying to, lower the price by a penny to get that. So, capitalism always creates the competition. And as you said, government that comes in and says, no, let me take my cut for protection.
Let me wet my beak.
Like a mafia boss to me.
Yeah, let me wet my beak. Jonathan Hoenig, founding member of the Capitalist Big Hedge Fund, Fox News contributor, author of a new textbook of Americanism, The Politics of Ayn Rand. Jonathan, thanks as always.
Have a great weekend, folks.
Thanks, you too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
What happens when America's debt bubble finally bursts? The dollar's value would be destroyed along with the value of your 401k or IRA. And this would be a total catastrophe for the nation. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and the debt bubble is just one more reason why I recommend diversifying your retirement account into physical gold. Gold can preserve your savings through almost anything, and if you take advantage of a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you pay zero penalties or taxes when you transfer your current retirement funds. To learn more, text the word HEDGE to 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text HEDGE to 989898 to request your free info kit on gold IRAs right now.
All right. How's your home doing? Are there cracks in your walls or brickwork? Sinking ground or concrete? Sagging floors? Gaps underneath baseboards? Sticking doors and windows? Well, these are all symptoms of structural foundation problems, and it's time to call Permaseal Basement Systems. All too often, homeowners ignore these signs and then experience even bigger problems later on, which in turn costs way much more to fix. Call Permaseal today, 800-421-SEAL, 800-421-7325, and you can rely on an honest, accurate, and free evaluation from Permaseal's trained experts. For over 41 years, they've been in business. They know what they're doing. A+ from the Bay, and a 4.9 star Google rating. I wonder what their Uber rating is. For a free thorough inspection, call Permaseal 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Imagine trying to eat 31 different kinds of produce in a single day. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a lot to me. Luckily for us, we don't have to worry about that. You can get the benefits of 31 whole fruits and vegetables by taking a few capsules of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies, making it the perfect, quick, on-the-go, easy solution to get more produce in your diet. Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com. For a limited time this summer, get $25 off your first order as a preferred customer, plus a free fruits and veggies travel set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Cable news. Noisy, out of touch, on repeat. Tired of all the lookalikes? So are we. Salem News Channel is here to change the game. Streaming 24/7, free on your TV, with the greatest collection of conservative voices. Home to Dinesh D'Souza, Andrew Wilkow, Brandon Tatum, and more. Like you, we say what's wrong and what's right. Unfiltered and unapologetic. Salem News Channel. We're the answer to the mainstream media. Learn more at snc.tv. AM 560, The Answer.
All right. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
2/3 of all federal arrests involve non-citizens, and the other third involve Chicagoans. Not exactly, but close. 707.
But now let's head straight into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Bond set at $200,000 for a man charged with a hit and run near Guaranteed Rate Field. A woman and a teenage son shot and killed a man. They're charged in a deadly shooting at a hot dog stand. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
It looks and sounds like the submersible was lost days ago. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Hours after underwater robots found the missing sub in pieces near the Titanic shipwreck, the crew was going down to tour. Fox's Marianne Rafferty reports the U.S. knew Sunday it likely blew up.
The U.S. Navy detected an anomaly consistent with an implosion or explosion in the general vicinity of where the Titan submersible was operating when communications were lost. While not definitive, this information was immediately shared with the incident commander to assist with the ongoing search and rescue mission.
Well, now the Coast Coast Guard says it's a salvage mission.
They did not give a timeline for how long that will take. 5 people on board the submersible were killed in what Coast Guard officials called a catastrophic implosion. That included the CEO of OceanGate, the company that owned the Titan.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. House Republicans got the ball rolling on impeaching President Biden. Fox's Ryan Schmelz reports 2 committees are considering articles
alleging he's failed to secure the southern border and enforce the law.
Instead of enforcing our immigration laws, he has lawlessly ignored them.
The effort, spearheaded by Colorado's Lauren Boebert and conservative members of the party, was seen by Democrats like Jim McGovern as political.
Oh my God, Mr. Speaker, let's get real here. Nothing about this is serious.
This says House Republicans also released testimony from IRS whistleblowers, and Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith tells Fox it shows
the Department of Justice intervene in the prosecution of Hunter Biden.
3M is getting out its checkbook, agreeing to pay $10+ billion
for contaminating several U.S. public water systems. At issue are PFAS, forever chemicals found in firefighting foam, as well as consumer products like nonstick cookware. The deal would settle suits from about 300 communities impacted by the chemicals.
That's Jill Nato. America's listening to Fox.
Skies are mostly clear, 66 degrees, 7:02. On AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A woman accused of instructing her teenage son to kill a man at a Chicago hot dog stand last weekend. Carlisha Hood got into an argument with the victim at the eatery before she texted her son to come inside. The teen then shot the victim after he punched, allegedly, Hood in the head multiple times.
The co-defendant fired a shot at the victim inside of Maxwell's, striking the victim in the back. As the victim fled, the co-defendant followed him and fired additional shots. The defendant instructed her son, the co-defendant, to continue to shoot and kill the victim.
The pair was arrested on Wednesday. Bond set at $200,000 for the man charged in the hit-and-run crash near Guaranteed Rate Field that sent several to the hospital this week. Police say Condelarius Garcia was driving that vehicle. Cook County Medical Examiner's Office confirms that the body of a missing swimmer was recovered from Lake Michigan near Foster Avenue Beach. The woman identified as Amy Keltz of Aurora. Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle unveiling the county's proposed fiscal year budget for 2024. It shows a projected budget gap of $85 million that will likely be closed, according to Preckwinkle, with a $215 million surplus thanks to higher-than-expected sales tax receipts and 4,000 unfilled jobs, 700 of which are nurses.
We do need to staff up. I think the folks who are with us just work really hard to fill in the gaps. We're doing a good job, given the fact that we do have a considerable number of vacancies. I just think the folks who are with us just work really hard to fill in the gaps.
Preckwinkle confident that she'll be able to fill any gap without raising taxes or fees. Chicago sports. Cardinals and Cubs will play this weekend, beginning tomorrow in London, while the Red Sox take on the White Sox this evening on the South Side, and the Blackhawks bringing back a familiar face, signing forward Joey Anderson to a 1-year, 2-way contract. The news, a service of Dan and Amy 24/7. Listen now, Dan and Amy 247.com. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The mainstream media wants to divide Americans into neat little groups, and they want you to believe that everyone in each one of those groups thinks alike. John Anthony is here to blow up that lie. Join him for Black and Right tomorrow afternoon at 4, when he provides a different perspective on what it means to be black and right. Tomorrow afternoon at 4, right here on AM 560. The Answer.
You don't need to starve yourself to achieve a healthy weight. Candace Rosen's latest book, Forget Dieting, eliminates the guesswork about weight loss. As the pioneer in glucose monitoring for weight loss and improved health, Candace Rosen believes the pancreas is the gatekeeper of poor health versus good health, weight loss versus weight gain. Whether tuning in or testing your blood glucose 90 minutes after you eat a meal or snack, you can leave dieting behind for good. Get the book today and start feeling better tomorrow. That's Forget Dieting at Barnes & Noble or Amazon. Candace Rosen believes in the practice of self-help. You are your primary caregiver, and your physician is just your secondary caregiver. Remember, it's never about the weight. It's about what excess weight represents, present or future poor health. Food is medicine. Forget Dieting. It's all about data-driven fueling. Order Forget Dieting. Available at Barnes & Noble or Amazon.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called Testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text LION to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text LION to 321321. That's LION to 321321.
Yeah, it's not just you. A lot of people are wondering why so many big corporations are actively promoting ideas and values that their own customers don't support. And honestly, this is another reason MediShare is so attractive to people who don't want to use their own healthcare dollars to pay for things they don't believe in. MediShare is the refreshing alternative. They're a nonprofit ministry. It's a community of like-minded Christians helping each other live healthy lifestyles. There are more than 400,000 members now, and they save a lot, too. Most families save around $500 a month. And member satisfaction surveys consistently show they like it much more than health insurance. So for you, maybe it's time. Find out how you can not only save, but freely choose to be part of something you believe in. Here's the number you can call now, 844-47-BIBLE. That's 844-47-BIBLE. 844-47-BIBLE.
7:08. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. A service of the Barbecue Authority, your go-to for the largest selection of grills, smokers, outdoor products. Visit the Lyle showroom or online at bbqauthority.com. Kennedy at 37, O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Much lighter than normal right now, so it's likely a getaway Friday for folks. 32 on the outbound side back out to the big airport. 37 inbound Ike. 390 into the old post office. Still major problems on northbound 55. It's shut down on the northbound side between Route 53 and Joliet Road as they investigate a much earlier fatal accident. The outbound Stevenson jammed up between Harlem to right before LaGrange Road with an earlier disabled vehicle. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Today, partly sunny skies. High today, 83. Partly cloudy tonight, low 62. It'll be sunny tomorrow, the high 84. Partly sunny, a hotter day on Saturday. The high Saturday jumping up to 92. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
68 at O'Hare, 65 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. I need to add a postscript to our discussion with capitalist pig Jonathan Hoenig. about this anti-idling ordinance that carbon-based alder Timmy Knudsen has sponsored that prohibits all internal combustion-powered vehicles from idling for more than 3 minutes under penalty of death, I believe.
Stop it. It's a fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you say.
Well,
but if
fine this, man.
If it were the death penalty, when you're talking about saving lives, saving the planet, angels being granted their wings and the like, I mean, can you really argue with that?
If it saves one life.
The green future,
The green police, we can call them, because they could stand by idling cars with a stopwatch and then count them down. Like, don't make me do this. Even when we've got 20 below zero and moms are waiting to pick up their kids at school. Sometimes it takes a little bit more than 3 minutes. And you might have other people in the car, so you don't want to turn your car off. They won't take that into consideration.
I think we go with the Dream Police in honor of Blue Oyster Cult, and because we're dreaming of a better tomorrow for Chicago. Well, there is just a couple of points here. I'm sure, because as I understand that carbon-based alder Timmy Knudsen is a lawyer.
But he's doing something.
In 2009, under the watch of one Mayor Daley, Chicago City Council passed an anti-idling ordinance applicable to diesel vehicles. Same 3-minute limit. You could strict idling limit of 3 minutes, or you go to daily prison. So, I mean, I know he's expanding it to all internal combustion engines, which is profound, to say the least. But I just wonder, maybe, since we're focused on this, and since so much is at stake with this anti-idling ordinance, and because this is not just virtue signaling, this is a serious policymaker, we take that as a given, right? Perhaps the alderhuman Timmy Knudsen can tell us how many lives were saved, emissions eliminated, and angels' wings granted as a result of the anti-idling ordinance from 2009 that applied to diesel vehicles, so that we have some sense of the scale that we'll see.
Did they issue tickets?
If we expand it to all cars.
Oh, excuse me for stepping on your line.
I want the results.
I know. What are the results?
What are the results? Right? Oh, also, alderhuman Timmy Knudsen. There's a state law. You cannot leave a car unattended with the engine running and the key in the ignition. That includes, like, in your driveway, technically. A car. So that's all cars that have internal combustion engines, Timmy. So how would your ordinance interact with state law? Is there any difference? Or is it, because I would hate to say that it's in any way redundant or irrelevant or nonsensical. I would hate to think that you were doing something for social media rather than in advance of, serious, thoughtful policy to address an important problem in the city. I would hate to think that about any alderhuman. No.
Come on, Dan. Don't be silly.
Yeah. So I just wanted to add the layering here to alderhuman Timmy's anti-idling ordinance. Steve in Arlington Heights, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
How you doing, guys? Happy Friday. Listen to your show every day. Thanks. Hey, they have had a law like that in Colorado for many years. I used to live out there, and people just ignore it. They don't do anything with it, but it's called an anti-puffing law.
Anti-puffing.
It went into play the same time they legalized marijuana. So you can make smoke through marijuana, but you can't leave your car warm up in the winter.
You can puff, but your car can't. Got it. Thanks for the call, Steve. Kurt in Bolingbrook.
Hey, Dan, good morning. It's Cheap Trick, not Blue Oyster Cult.
Oh, Dream Police Cheap Trick. Oh, my gosh.
Uh-oh. How are you going to go on with your day?
I've committed an offense against Rockford's very own Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about
Xander
that.
is on line 12.
Sorry about
He's
that.
not happy with you.
Thanks for the correction, Kurt. Sorry about that.
I love Robin Zander.
Yeah. That's a rare 80s music mistake by me. So remember this day and time.
I don't think I can go on. I think I'm going to have to leave.
Paul and Carrie.
Hey, guys. I think he's fallen short, actually. We should start going, I would suggest to him we should start going after car manufacturers and all remote starts, banning them, and have the car manufacturers pay an infraction going back, 5-10 years, perhaps.
Clawback provision. Yeah, smart.
Do you have a remote start on your car?
No.
A remote start on your car. Do you have one?
No.
I used to on my hobo ride, and with my new used minivan, I don't have one. It's just a travesty. I don't know how I could go on.
Well, the remote start doesn't get you out of the 3-minute time limit. That's the shot clock. So as soon as the car starts, whether you're in it or not, you're on the clock.
You fire up that bad boy, you be being watched.
Mike, Prospect Heights.
Hey, good morning, guys. I love your show.
Thank you.
Hey, I was thinking of internal combustion engines. What about O'Hare? We got jets that idle out there for quite a while. Come on.
The jets run on fairy dust, though, not fossil fuels, Mike. Thanks for the call. O'Hare is politically important. You, individual Chicagoan, you are not politically important.
No.
You understand the difference? Pete, Northwest Side.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. So if being exposed to exhaust for longer than 3 minutes is terrible, we should eliminate all the bike lanes throughout the city so those poor cyclists don't have to inhale all those fumes.
Very, very good. Yeah, I'd be for that. I know
You hate bike lane. Well,
you're a bike lane
triathlete.
proponent. Oh,
I've
God.
done many century rides, and and I ride my bike, but I haven't yet this summer because it's too dangerous out there.
Yeah.
Because you people aren't respecting the bike lanes.
Well, it's too dangerous out there. Just as an aside, want to keep you updated. Let me introduce you to number 60.
Oh, no.
Number 60. 3 days before Christmas, this guy was walking in the 7100 block of South Woodlawn when a stolen Hyundai pulled up next to him, and 5 men got out with guns. 5 men using 8 guns fired 39 rounds into this guy, killing him. On Thursday, prosecutors filed murder charges against one of the men they believe was among the gunmen, a 24-year-old. The 24-year-old was on electronic monitoring for a pending stolen motor vehicle and aggravated fleeing case at the time of the shooting. He is the 60th person accused of killing or shooting or trying to kill or shoot someone in Chicago last year, 2022, while having a felony case pending. At least 104 people victimized and 28 dead as a result of those crimes committed by people on electronic monitoring for a felony. So is that what you're talking about when you say it's not so safe? Yeah. Mm-hmm. 5 guys, 8 guns, open fire, 40 rounds.
40 rounds? What is this, the Wild West?
John in Wakanda.
God.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. This subject is breaking my once or twice a month call rule, but I have to say something. And I'm sorry I had to turn off my phone. Does the Uber drivers, how about the DoorDash people? How about if they're having to wait, do they have to now find a parking place? Does that increase revenues to the city? The bike lane people, they've been making a lot of noise recently about, the city trucks. I think this is partly to take care of these bike lane people, to make them feel like they're loved. There's so many subjects. How about the trains? How about the people that are idling outside waiting for people at the airport? I've never seen anybody not be there for at least 3 minutes. What are we doing here? This is just ridiculous. But I think that maybe it's an increased revenue thing for the city because they have to now find parking places. And is this going to stop carjacking?
Thanks for the call, John.
Only extra time to turn the car back on. I don't know.
I think it's going to be an increased cost to the city because you're going to have your stopwatch police, your dream police, out there, along with your traffic management aides and the other make work jobs, because there's a big jobs program that BLM Brandon wants to launch. You may have heard.
Well,
So it's either going to be completely virtue signaling silliness from people like Alderhuman Timmy on the north side there, Old Town, Lincoln Park, and playing to the Champagne Socialists on the north side, or it'll be a jobs program for more minders to write tickets.
You like dream police, but I like green police.
It's too on the nose.
Oh, it's too much.
Just too on the nose. Green police. Yeah, right. It's eco. It's too on the nose. You need to think more abstract.
Remember when we had social distancing ambassadors along the way?
Well, exactly. Well,
I went up to that and I took a picture because I never want to forget that absolute silliness. And one guy said, well, why don't you get a 6-foot stick and they'll be back, like Cartman, on that COVID special they had.
Right. So I'm serious, though. Think about all of these make work programs that mayors, past and present, have come up with or want to come up with. So the traffic management aides that mimic traffic signals.
Oh, I hate
these are employees. This is $60,000 jobs with pensions to imitate a traffic signal. The social distance ambassadors, your COVID ambassadors. Think about the safe passage escorts for CPS.
Oh, I remember those. Wait, what happened to those?
It's safe now. They don't need to be there, I guess. No, I don't know.
Because
who knows?
The signs we had near our house have been taken down, so I don't know if they dismantled the program. What about the peacekeepers that lasted one weekend?
Peacekeepers.
When, they hired 30, 29 showed up, and then one got involved in a shooting.
What about
or a robbery, excuse me.
What about the 50 alderhumans? They don't do anything. They get paid, except introduce anti-idling ordinances. Chris and Carrie.
And they have a driver. They don't have to pay auto insurance.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, good morning. Hey, you guys ever take the train out of Union or Ogilvy?
Yeah.
I mean, those trains sit and idle for hours.
Yeah.
They just sit and idle. You walk through that Union station, you almost die of carbon monoxide poisoning walking from the end of the train into the station. They don't say a word about those.
Mm-hmm.
That's been going on for decades.
Well, thanks for the call, Chris. Well, that's public. It's public. It's public property. It's their property. It's their stuff. This doesn't apply to their stuff. It applies to your stuff. Don't you get it? It's not their stuff. Come on. Chad and Crete.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Great show. Just want to say, if they wanted to save lives in Chicago, they could probably reduce the bulletin emissions, too. That'd be great.
That'd be helpful. Yeah, reduce the lead content in the streets, parks, neighborhoods. George, Naperville.
Yeah, Dan, they shouldn't allow pit stops at that NASCAR event because there's too much idling and they should have to drive on bald tires.
That's right. We got the big race coming up soon.
They shouldn't allow pit stops at the NASCAR race because Junebug's going to steal the number 8 car. That's why they shouldn't allow
What
them.
about the Gay Pride Parade, which is Sunday? I mean, there's a lot of idling going on there.
Among
with the floats.
Among other things.
Yeah, decent exposure.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Sean Thompson here for my friend Tom Fortino of Alpha Wealth. There aren't many people who would knowingly leave their job to start another job for a 30% cut in pay. And yet, people do it every day when they enter retirement. Why enter the exciting new chapter of your life with less money? Why trade the stress of work for more stress in retirement? Tom Fortino of Alpha Wealth Group can help. Just call Tom at 630-934-1855 for your complimentary, customized retirement. It addresses many of the big questions you may have, like what to do about Social Security, managing your investments, and how to create income you can never outlive. You can downsize your house, but don't downsize your lifestyle. Get a complimentary, customized retirement plan at 630-934-1855 or visit alphawealthgroup.com. That's alphawealthgroup.com.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, RWA, an SEC registered investment advisor. RWA and Alpha Wealth Group are independent of each other. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
All right, for years now, you've heard about Turnkey offering more than just managed IT services. Now they've stepped up, and they are in the consulting business. They want to help your company grow, tackle the day-to-day hurdles. Do you have a long-term strategy such as identifying new revenue streams, growing your customer base, increasing your bottom line? Turnkey can help. Maybe it's a short-term problem like an employee leaving abruptly or filling positions you've had open for months. You may need a shift supervisor, a part-time CFO, an IT guy, even a temporary general manager. Turnkey can help. Whether it's a seasonal problem or a long-term need, Turnkey's consulting staff has years of experience in nearly every business function. And for a limited time, Turnkey will provide a free consultation to look at your situation and see what it would take to resolve it. Go to the turnkey.pro and learn more. The pros at Turnkey share your values. They are Chicagoland small business champions. Visit turnkey.pro to book your appointment today. That's turnkey.pro.
This is Ed Morrissey of HotAir.com for Town Hall. What did Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Loretta Lynch, and James Comey know about Russia collusion, and when did they know it? John Durham dropped a bombshell in his testimony to the House Oversight Committee. In his report, the special counsel had already revealed that these four and others had been briefed in August 2016 that the Russia collusion allegation was nothing more than a political attack from Hillary Clinton. Durham testified that the briefing had included a referral memorandum that Comey received. However, Durham discovered that FBI agents assigned to the investigation were never informed of Brennan's briefing or the political context of the Steele dossier. In essence, Comey obstructed the FBI's own investigation and contributed to the false representations to the FISA court. Comey isn't the only one that covered it up. Obama, Biden, and Lynch all contributed to the Russia hysteria that followed, both before and after the election, while knowing full well that it was nothing but a dirty political trick. That certainly smells like, well, collusion.
You've heard Remke's Garage commercials on AM 560, and now they specialize in servicing Sprinters and light-duty diesels. But the experts at Remke's also service Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. So if you own an Isuzu or Chevy low-cab forward truck but aren't sure where to get it repaired, take it to Remke's Garage, your #1 dealer alternative for repairs to your Isuzu NPR, Isuzu F-Series, or Chevy low-cab forward truck. Whether gas or diesel, your truck is the lifeline of your business. That's why Remke's Garage offers free loaners while your truck is being serviced. They'll even pick up and deliver for your convenience. Remke's Garage has the factory scan tool to properly diagnose Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. Their commitment to your business is backed with a complimentary maintenance plan and free 2-year warranty. Go to remkesgarage.com to learn more about their specialization in Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks and schedule your appointment today. That's Remkes, REMKES, garage.com.
Imagine trying to eat 31 different kinds of produce in a single day. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a lot to me. Luckily for us, we don't have to worry about that. You can get the benefits of 31 whole fruits and vegetables by taking a few capsules of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies, making it the perfect, quick, on-the-go, easy solution to get more produce in your diet. Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com. For a limited time this summer, get $25 off your first order as a preferred customer, plus a free fruits and veggies travel set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
What happens when America's debt bubble finally bursts? The dollar's value would be destroyed along with the value of your 401k or IRA. And this would be a total catastrophe for the nation. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and the debt bubble is just one more reason why I recommend diversifying your retirement account into physical gold. Gold can preserve your savings through almost anything, and if you take advantage of a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group, you pay zero penalties or taxes when you transfer your current retirement funds. To learn more, text the word HEDGE to 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold IRA company I trust. So text HEDGE to 989898 to request your free info kit on gold IRAs right now.
AM 560, The Answer.
Cheap Trick. Of course, Cheap Trick.
Oh, I love this song. Turn it up, Justin. It's so good.
All right, coming up at 7:37, the big guy pledges allegiance to the country of India. We'll start there with John Hinderaker, 7:37.
And later, something that happened to Fox News' Sandra Smith that has changed her life forever. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
That would be Wheaton's own Sandra Smith.
I'm sorry, Wheaton. That's right.
Wheaton's own.
You said she's from Naperville. Do you know her?
Naperville,
Dan?
Wheaton.
What are you doing, Dan?
Who
Trying to talk to
knows?
you. Walking away?
That's okay. 66 degrees at 7:30 on AM 560. The Answer. A woman accused of instructing her teenage son to kill a man at a Chicago hot dog stand last weekend. Carlisha Hood and her 14-year-old son are both facing murder charges. The pair arrested Wednesday after they were identified as suspects in the deadly shooting of a man at Maxwell Street Express Sunday night.
The co-defendant fired a shot at the victim inside of Maxwell, striking the victim in the back. As the victim fled, the co-defendant followed him and fired additional shots. The defendant instructed her son, the co-defendant, to continue to shoot and kill the victim.
The teen shot the victim after he punched Carlisha Hood in the head, according to prosecutors, multiple times. The Coast Guard is confirming that submersible used to view the Titanic was found demolished on the ocean floor. Its 5 passengers dead.
An ROV, or remote-operated vehicle, discovered the tail cone of the Titan submersible approximately 1,600 feet from the bow of the Titanic.
Discovery Channel Expedition Unknown host Josh Gates took a dive in the Titan vessel and said not long ago he refused a second trip.
I felt that it needed more time to be tested. I think there are still big questions that need to be answered here about really the thoroughness of actual deep water testing of Titan before its missions.
France's Victor Wembanyama was selected by San Antonio to become the first overall pick last night in the NBA draft.
Best feeling of my life, probably the best night of my life. I've been dreaming about this for so long. It's a dream come true.
The 7'4" Wembanyama called it a dream come true and has been preparing for this for a couple of years as a pro in Europe. The Cook County Medical Examiner's Office is confirming that the body of a missing swimmer was recovered from Lake Michigan near Chicago's Foster Avenue Beach. 20-year-old Amy Keltz of Aurora was last seen struggling to get to shore Wednesday night. A Cook County judge accused of making racial remarks is now facing more allegations of misconduct. Attorney Matthew Fricori filed motions last week accusing Judge William Hooks of making racial comments about Middle Eastern men and other derogatory comments during a conference in his chambers. Meantime, Hooks has since removed himself from that case. 2 Chicago companies have been named finalists in a major competition involving craft beer, as they each do their part to try to diversify the brewing industry. Azadi Brewing and Funky Town Brewing, both based in Chicago, have been chosen to take part in Sam Adams' Crafting Dreams Beer Bash. Part of that, the brewery would get the opportunity to make a collaboration beer with the Boston-based beer maker. America's Pastime is heading to London this weekend, where the Cubs will play the Cardinals, while the White Sox begin a weekend set with the Red Sox at Guaranteed Rate Field. 7:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Sean Thompson Show.
The feeble fascist and the entire upper echelon of the Democrat Party is a big, giant, pay-to-play scheme mafia. They get to lie with impunity, and they lie knowingly. And what does the lie lead to? The fact that the sitting president, although he doesn't know it and he's sitting in his own urine, the sitting president is an asset of enemies, foreign. We know. And we also know about the domestic, but we're used to unions.
The Sean Thompson Show, weekday afternoons at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Many novice gold and silver buyers make fatal mistakes when buying precious metals for the first time. Mistakes made because of dealer gimmicks and scams. Dennis Prager here for Amfed Coin and Bullion. My choice and it really is, for buying precious metals. Numerous precious metal dealers are capitalizing on the demand for gold by selling inexperienced investors collectible coins with outrageous markups. One company charges as much as $18,000 for collectible coins that are only worth about $5,500 in the open market. It's an example of the honesty of AmFed. Other dealers tell falsehoods about government gold confiscation or regulation of gold prices at AmFed Coin and Bullion to keep things simple and transparent so you'll understand what you own and its true value. If you're thinking of buying or have already purchased and want a second opinion, call Nick Grovich, the man I trust, and his team at AmFed Coin and Bullion, 800-221-7694. Receive a complimentary coin performance review, AmericanFederal.com, AmericanFederal.com.
Have you been struggling to find an easy, safe, and secure document scanning solution for Salesforce.com, Microsoft 365, SharePoint, or OnBase by Highland? Your struggle is now over, and it's time to get your documents and operations into the 21st century with IoT Smart Connected Scan. It's easy to turn physical paper into digital documents and have them directly uploaded to the cloud with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. And you don't need a degree in computing or IT to make it happen. Using QR code technology uniquely configured for your specific business, anyone can set the IoT Smart Connected Scanning device up in 5 minutes or less, saving your organization money and valuable time. Remote employees can even capture documents and send them safely and seamlessly. Organize documents efficiently and securely with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. To see a demo or to order now, go to ready4idt.com. That's ready4idt.com. Use promo code SMART and receive 10% off your order. IDT, putting paper in its place.
Progressive Insurance. Progressive can protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, RV, and more. In short, a lot of things. Bundle today at progressive.com.
737. Let's get that update on the roads. We do that in our Team Hochberg Traffic Center. It is a service of MyPillow, the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Now buy one, get one free. Promo code Liberty. Machine washable. 60-day money-back guarantee. MyPillow.com. Promo code Liberty. Eden 17, Lake Cook Road to the junction. Kennedy inbound, 15 minutes. O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. The Ike at 37-390 into the old post office. The Eisenhower on the outbound side jams up Cicero to Des Plaines Avenue. I-55 just reopened northbound between Route 53 and Joliet Road after a much earlier fatal accident. Stevenson inbound, the main line is at 37 in from I-355. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Mostly sunny today, a high of 85, clear and 65 overnight. Right now, 68. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Did you see that moment yesterday when the big guy was with Indian Prime Minister Modi, and
they started playing the Indian national anthem?
He put his hand over his heart,
yeah,
and then was listening. And then about 30 seconds in, he slowly started to remove it from, and then put his hand aside. Finally figured it out.
Talking to him in his ear to say, "Hey, psst, put your hand down."
Right.
It's not our national anthem. You're pledging allegiance to the wrong country.
Yeah, well, it can happen when Leslie Nielsen is your president. By the way, that's something that he would have done at 29. So I don't want to hear any of this senility thing. He's a dope. He's not the senility thing. He's just a dope. He's just a slower dope at 80 than he was at 29 when he arrived at the Senate. Okay?
For real. This isn't a joke. I mean, his lines are so cliche and getting old.
Well, the president was trying to figure out to which country he pledges allegiance.
on the other side of the hill, Jason Smith, Republican from Missouri, who's the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, was releasing transcripts of testimony provided to that committee by IRS whistleblowers in the wake of the Hunter Biden sweetheart plea agreement. And very interesting things he had to recount, did Representative Smith, per the testimony contained in the transcripts of those IRS whistleblowers. Don't blame the IRS, and don't blame U.S. Attorney for the state of Delaware, David Weiss. It appears, according to the whistleblowers at least, because the IRS recommended felony charges against Hunter.
The testimony we released today shows the IRS recommended charges against Hunter Biden that included attempt to evade or defeat tax, a felony, fraud or false statements, a felony, and willful failure to file returns, supply information, or pay tax. These tax crimes cover an estimated $2.2 million in unreported tax on global income streams to Mr. Biden and his associates from Ukraine, Romania, and China, totaling $17.3 million from 2014 to 2019. Mr. Biden personally received $8.3 million.
And that doesn't even include the payments made to prostitutes and sex clubs that he tried to deduct as business expenses. So the IRS wanted felony charges, and David Weiss, the U.S. attorney in question, apparently was interested in pursuing said charges at the recommendation of the IRS, but something got in the way, again, according to whistleblower testimony. Somebody might want to ask David Weiss about what you're about to hear. Might want to ask Merrick Garland about what you're about to hear.
Testimony shows that U.S. Attorney of Delaware David Weiss tried to bring charges in the District of Columbia around March of 2022 and was denied. Weiss sought special counsel status from the DOJ in the spring of 2022 and was once again denied. Weiss sought to bring charges in the Central District of California in the fall of 2022 and had that request denied in January of 2023. Yet U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland told Congress that Weiss had all the authority necessary to pursue the charges. Well, which is it?
And that doesn't even include an additional piece of testimony from these IRS whistleblowers that is going to be difficult to ignore, difficult to say that's a dumb question. A WhatsApp message from Hunter Biden to Henry Zhao, a Chinese communist-connected business dude, saying what?
Well, he said, I'm sitting here with my father, and I'd like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. He texted this July 30th, 2017. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand, and now means tonight. And Z, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Shang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows and my ability to hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I'm sitting here waiting for the call with my father.
And then he said, I'm going to smoke a crack pipe and do some blow art. And when I get back, that money better be there.
He had already given him $100,000 for what work, we don't know, but it's his name was Henry Zhao, and he's the executive at that Chinese company.
And
unbelievable.
Remember, the pat answer is that the big guy had no idea. He had no look into whatever Hunter Biden, baby boy Hunter Biden, was doing with respect to business dealings in countries around the globe. For more on this, please be joined by John Hindraker, president of the Center of the American Experiment, contributor to Powerline, powerlineblog.com. John, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, great to be with you, Dan.
What's your handle on these latest developments per Jason Smith?
Well, it is slowly unraveling, isn't it? I mean, it's kind of interesting. If you look at polls, I think I've seen polls indicating that about 60% of the public says, Joe Biden was taking bribes from foreign interests and foreign governments. So, they haven't done a very good job of keeping the lid on this really unbelievable scandal. And it seems to me that it's starting to unravel more here. They tried to keep the lid on it by having Hunter plead guilty to minor offenses that have nothing to do with the millions that he got from these overseas interests and that Joe got. That's the important thing, of course, from the overseas interests. And yet it looks as though the U.S. attorney was nibbling around and was going to pursue things that had to do with that money. $8 million, went to Hunter. Okay, well, where'd the rest of it go? So that apparently was too dangerous, and it got stepped on. But they can't keep the lid on a lifetime of corruption, which is what we're talking about here with Joe Biden. And that WhatsApp message, I saw that last night. I mean, that is a smoking gun. It really is, Amy. I mean, you read that and it's okay. It's really all over for Joe Biden.
Well, he's not going to court until, Hunter Biden's not going to court until July 27th. So is there a possibility that they can up some charges knowing this new information?
I doubt it. I mean, look, the fix is in. The fix is obviously in, and it comes from Merrick Garland, the Attorney General. I mean, it's kind of a joke. I don't know that the legal proceedings at this point matter all that much. I think that enough has come out, and enough is going to continue to come out. These House committees are looking into all this stuff. They're finding more stuff. They're going to be putting out reports and having press conferences. Most people already believe that Joe Biden is a crook, and it's only going to get worse. And I think, I wrote on Powerline yesterday about a big fact check of Joe Biden by none other than CNN. Every single thing he says about guns is wrong. Stuff he says about energy is wrong. Stuff he says about Africa is wrong. Why are they all of a sudden fact-checking Joe Biden at CNN, almost as if he was Donald Trump,
Well,
I think the answer is he's on his way out the door. They're laying the foundation to ease him out.
So we've been waiting for this for a while. When are they going to move on him? And the window is closing. If you don't want him to be the nominee, if everybody's going to take the posture that Gavin Newsom and other interested parties have taken, we support Biden, done a great job until they decide he hasn't, you think this is finally the moment and they're going to move him out? And how do they, if they do, how do they work around not moving Kamala in, because that can't work?
Well, here's my theory. They're not going to have him leave office prematurely, because that would make Kamala the president, and then they're stuck with her, right?
Yeah,
so my theory is that this whole thing is. By the way, Gavin Newsom has been sounding more moderate lately.
Yes,
he was on Fox News. Yep.
Yeah, he's trying to talk like a moderate Democrat. So my theory is that they've got it planned, and at the appropriate moment, which I think is going to be around when the primaries are about to begin, early next year, February or something in that time frame, Joe Biden is going to go on television and he's going to give a tearjerker of a speech in which he says that it had always been his intention to run for a second term. He always thought he was physically up to it. His health was good. But just in the last few weeks, he's suffered some reversals in his health, and he's taken a hard look at it. And he's decided that much as he hates to retire for the good of the American people, he is not going to seek a second term.
It's the anti-checker speech. Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. No, and people say, "Oh, Joe,
don't do it."
Yeah, please run, Joe. No, I can't. I won't. LBJ, right? If nominated, right? Yeah, the whole thing.
And meanwhile, Gavin Newsom is going to be raising money like mad. And the day after Joe Biden gives that speech, Gavin Newsom files at all these primaries, and he catches Kamala flat-footed, and the whole party gets behind him, and they make Gavin Newsom the nominee. That's my theory about how this is going to.
Well, then who would Gavin Newsom's running mate be?
Oh, anyone but Kamala.
Right.
Yeah.
No, she'd be done. She'd take, she wants to go spend more time.
I don't know. Ilhan Omar?
Yeah, of course. That'd be a good pick. Yeah. One of the socialist Spice Girls. That'd be that'd be a good play. Well, so now on the other side, since we're talking POTUS politics here, I mean, do you see any path available to Ron DeSantis at this moment?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you?
National primary polls don't mean anything. They don't mean
Well, take a look at the
anything.
state polls, though, too.
Well, you look at the state polls, but the campaign hasn't begun yet. You know, primary polling is extremely volatile. General election polling isn't, because most of us have got our minds made up. You know, but primary polling. Are you old enough to remember when Ed Muskie had the Democratic nomination sewed up?
I've read about it.
And then he cried. You know, I mean, wasn't that big a deal? And all of a sudden, whammo, no Ed Muskie. And then just a few years ago, a few cycles ago, Howard Dean. You know, Howard Dean.
Yeah,
is the
but
man. He's the front runner.
But John, let me stop you there. This is so much different. None of those guys had the unyieldingly loyal base that a Donald Trump brings to the table. None of those guys, obviously, it's never happened, were under indictment and could position themselves to run against the bête noire of the Republican Party, the Leviathan inside the Beltway right now. And Trump has at least one, if not two more possible indictments to come. There's no oxygen for anybody else right now.
Well, let's see. You know, the only thing that matters is what the caucus goers in Iowa think when the time comes. Not today, when the time comes. What the voters in New Hampshire think when the time comes. What the voters in South Carolina think. So I think it's way too early to be jumping to any conclusion.
Well, let me ask you
how that's going to go.
Okay, that's fair, but let me ask you something else then. Let me ask you a different way. What's your assessment of Ron DeSantis' rollout over the first 6 weeks?
I think it's been fine.
Okay. All right.
You know, I think it's been fine. He's got a strong emphasis on his record as governor of Florida. He's covering a lot of territory. He's drawing, you know, big, enthusiastic crowds. No, I think it's been fine. I mean, if you want to talk about the last 6 weeks, I would say Ron DeSantis has definitely had a better last 6 weeks than Donald Trump, right? I mean,
I don't know. I think this stirs and powers up his base.
I mean,
every indictment, you know, every lawsuit against him upsets people.
Well, even the head-to-head polling, which is, you know, the electability argument, is one of the key arguments for DeSantis or any other challenger to make. If you want to beat Biden, we can't have Trump. But the problem is right now the polling has Trump doing as well, if not better, than DeSantis and everybody else against Biden.
Well, let's see how it plays out. I mean, I understand that.
I hear you. I hear you.
I don't believe it. You know, there's no doubt that there's a hardcore that's maybe 25% or something of the GOP that will sink or swim with Donald Trump, at least as long as he's winning. If he loses the first couple of primaries, then I think that starts to change pretty fast. But I think most Republicans do not want to nominate a candidate who's going to be weighed down with a whole series of criminal indictments and sordid lawsuits, and those aren't Trump's only problems. You know, I mean, there's other questions that a lot of us have about Trump, his judgment, his obsession with, you know, 2020, his egomania. You know, so let's let the process play out. I could be wrong,
and you don't see. No, so could I. I mean, you don't see the entrance of so many candidates into the race as a vote of no confidence in DeSantis as the alternative?
No, I don't. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why people jump. I mean, Doug Burgum jumped into the race. You know, what's his strategy? I don't know. You know.
I don't know either.
There are a lot of people. There's a lot of reasons why people do that. They're thinking about a future cycle. They're thinking about the vice presidential nod. They've got a big ego and they want to get famous. You know, here again, I think, and your point is well taken. Look, there is a risk that Trump gets, you know, 30 or 35%, but nobody else gets more than 20. I mean, that is a risk. But here again, I think we kind of have to let the process start playing itself out and see what happens.
John Hindraker, President and Senator of the American Experiment, contributor to PowerlineBlog.com as well, daily must-reading. John, thanks as always. Appreciate it.
Hey, great to be with you. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mick McDonald, co-founder of Configure One, a global leader in configure, price, and quote software for manufacturers, and a new customer of Signature Bank. Configure One recently came to Signature Bank for a loan under the Paycheck Protection Program after our previous business bank of 20 years left us out in the cold. When I called Signature, I worked directly with one of the founders of the bank, who assured me that my application would be submitted immediately. 1 week later, my loan was approved and funded, and I moved my entire banking relationship to Signature. Signature Bank is incredibly responsive, fully transparent, and a great partner for my business.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When this is the sound of a waterfall in nature, there's no cause for concern. But when it's the sound of water gushing through your living room ceiling because a pipe bursts inside the wall, there's reason to panic unless you pick up the phone and call 1-800-SERVPRO. Only the cleanup and restoration specialists at ServPro can help make fire and water damage like it never even happened. So make the call to 1-800-SERVPRO at the first sign of water damage. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
Hi, I'm Test Director Rick from ServPro, the leader in cleaning, restoration, and construction. It's my job to make sure our pros are prepared for anything. Storm damage? Fixed. Flood damage? We're on it. Fire damage? Not anymore. Aliens? What? Aliens? We cleaned those sites a while ago. No matter the disaster, our pros will make it like it never even happened. Find out why ServPro is the #1 choice for residential and commercial restoration projects large and small. Visit servpro.com today.
Don't defund the police. Hire the police to protect your business. Rising crime has been crippling business owners in Illinois more and more in the past year. Blue Star Security can protect your most valuable asset, your business, to protect both you and your customers. Blue Star Security is the only security company in Chicago with over 500 off-duty police officers, all W-2 employees.
I'm Anthony Barchetto, president of Blue Star Security and a 20-year law enforcement veteran. Our team is exclusively state-certified active and retired law enforcement professionals who provide the highest standards in security. We serve Fortune 500 companies, as well as small businesses and individuals, responding rapidly and seamlessly to each assignment. Blue Star Security's technology allows mobilization of off-duty officers quickly and efficiently. Our primary mission is to provide unparalleled protective services for each assignment with integrity while maintaining our commitment to community service in the Chicagoland area.
Visit online to schedule a free security consultation at bluestarsecurityltd.com. That's bluestarsecurityltd.com.
If you have an IRA or 401k, please listen closely. My name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. Throughout my career, let's just say I've been in some hairy situations. And I believe right now the biggest threat facing Americans is they need to protect their wealth, which is exactly what I'm doing for my wife and 6 kids. And I believe the ultimate safe haven is physical gold and silver. You can protect your hard-earned retirement assets with a tax-free loophole that allows you to convert your retirement into physical gold and silver. The folks I use are Advantage Gold, and believe me, I've investigated the heck out of all types of people. Advantage Gold is the nation's highest rated gold company. They have the best process, pricing, and service. If you want to get your free gold and silver investment kit, please contact Advantage Gold right now, and you'll see how easy it is to protect yourself with precious metals. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
Call 800-900-8000.
You know when you start up a motorcycle and you hear it go vroom, vroom, vroom when it takes off? I was losing that. I was losing my energy. I started using Balance of Nature about 1.5 years ago. Noticed the results immediately, and I went, oh my gosh, this works. This is what I've been missing all my life. I missed my va-va voom. I got it back.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com. For a limited time this summer, get $25 off your first order as a preferred customer, plus a free fruits and veggies travel set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Daniel Mahoney, politics professor at Assumption College at 8:08.
But now let's head into that newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Preckwinkle unveils the Cook County budget. The body of a missing swimmer recovered from Lake Michigan. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
It's now a salvage operation. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. 2.5 miles underwater where pieces of that submersible were found yesterday. Then we found out later.
A U.S. Navy official confirming with Fox News, quote, the U.S. Navy detected an anomaly consistent with an implosion or explosion in the general vicinity of where the Titan submersible was operating when communications were lost.
But since that evidence was not definitive, they kept searching.
The implosion presumably killing all 5 crew members instantly as it descended toward the Titanic shipwreck. Among the victims is Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceanGate, which owns the Titan sub.
That's Fox's Brian Yennis in Boston. It's been more than a week since a fishing boat overcrowded with migrants sank off the Greek coast. It's feared 600 died. Pakistan's interior minister just said about half of them might have been Pakistanis. House Republicans are considering impeaching President Biden, opening investigations into his border policies, and they're releasing testimony from 2 IRS whistleblowers in the Hunter Biden probe.
They don't treat all taxpayers the same. And we saw that with countless examples that they used how the Department of Justice intervened in the prosecution of Hunter Biden.
Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith, days after the president's son agreed to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax evasion charges. The president will gather today with pro-choice activists, marking 1 year since the Supreme Court ruling that gave states more rights to ban abortions. A judge in Wyoming's ruled that state's ban on abortion bills cannot take effect July 1st after a Wyoming abortion clinic and several women sued.
The judge ruling lawyers for the state failed to show that allowing the measure to take effect next month wouldn't harm the plaintiffs before their lawsuit can be resolved. The lawsuit also aims to block a separate near-total ban on abortion, arguing the 2 state laws create confusion about what is and isn't legal.
That's Fox's Kristen Goodwin. America's listening to Fox News.
68 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Bond set at $200,000 for a man charged in a hit-and-run crash near Guaranteed Rate Field that sent several to the hospital this week. Condelarius Garcia was driving the vehicle that struck 4 on Tuesday night. Cook County Medical Examiner's Office is confirming the body of a missing swimmer was recovered from Lake Michigan near Chicago's Foster Avenue Beach. The woman identified as 20-year-old Amy Keltz of Aurora. Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle unveiling the county proposed fiscal year budget for 2024. The proposal shows a projected budget gap of more than $85 million, but the county is expecting a nearly $215 million surplus at the end of 2023. Much of that is due to about 4,000 unfilled jobs, 700 of which are nurses.
We do need to staff up. I think the fill in the gap.
A Chicago man is accused of fraudulently using a government-issued fuel credit card to buy $10,000 in fuel for himself and friends. The Attorney General's office charging Victor Mazon with theft, misconduct, wire fraud, and also driving with a suspended license. America's pastime heads across the pond this weekend. Cardinals and Cubs playing in London starting tomorrow. White Sox and Red Sox start a series at Guaranteed Rate tonight. The news a service of MyPillow. Buy one, get one free with promo code Liberty. The 2.0 is machine washable and dryable and a 60-day money-back guarantee. MyPillow.com, promo code Liberty. 8:04. A check now of the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. Now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Honda is recalling nearly 1.2 million vehicles because the rear view mirror camera image may not appear on the dashboard screen. The recall covers certain Odyssey minivans from 2018 to 2023, as well as Pilot SUVs from 2019 to 2022, and Passport SUVs from 2019 to 2023. Owners will be notified by letter starting July 24th. And Anheuser-Busch has unveiled a brand new Bud Light ad as it tries to recover from the massive backlash it received after a promotion involving transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. The 60-second spot, set to the 1979 disco hit Good Times, shows people enjoying Bud Light as they cope with some summer downsides, like sunburn or a sudden thunderstorm during a cookout. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka is on Team Trump.
If you support anyone except President Trump, it means that you're fine with political persecution based upon the fact that he's got an R after his name. I don't want to live in that America, and I would hope you don't too.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
I got to where I was sleeping in and I didn't like that. Within 2 or 3 days, I could tell the difference. Now I'm back to getting up early. I had more energy. I slept better at night. And in my therapy, I'm improving because I've got more energy. I truly believe in these things. I just know how I feel, and I tell everybody I can.
Start your journey to better health with Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com. For a limited time this summer, get $25 off your first order as a preferred customer, plus a free fruits and veggies travel set with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called Testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text LION to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text LION to 321321. That's LION to 321321.
It's 8:08. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Edens is okay right now, and the Kennedy is under an hour, 58 minutes from O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Ike in about an hour from 390 into the old post office. Outbound Ike, disabled vehicle blocking a left-hand lane between Central and Wolf. Stevenson on the outbound side, big jam reported this morning. Lamont Road out to the Veterans Memorial Toll Road, or I-355. Bishop Ford, solid traffic, 103rd into the Ryan merge. I-80 stop-and-go traffic eastbound Center to Chicago. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Sunny skies today, the high 85. It'll be clear tonight, low down to 65. Partly sunny for tomorrow, a little bit warmer, high 89. Clouds and sun, thunderstorm, breezy day on Sunday. The high Sunday afternoon, 82. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Sunshine and 72 at O'Hare. Next news 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560 The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. A time for greatness, courage, and moderation. That is the title of remarks offered by Daniel Mahoney in his acceptance speech, part of his acceptance speech, for Conservative Book of the Year. He was awarded Conservative Book of the Year by the Intercollegiate Studies Institute for his book, The Statement as Thinker, Portraits of Greatness, Courage, and Moderation. We are in this time that calls for greatness, courage, and moderation. From where will it come? Got me. Daniel Mahoney is professor of politics at Assumption College and author of the aforesaid book, The Statement as Thinker, Portraits of Greatness, Courage, and Moderation. Professor Mahoney, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Congratulations on your award.
Oh, thank you very much.
So in the excerpts from the speech that I read over at American Mind, you really zero in on the social compact that Burke described, what we owe today to our predecessors and our progeny, the binds that tie us together. And those binds have been broken and they need to be reestablished. Why?
Well, I think every decent, civilized human order, and that's America for an awful long time, is cognizant of the fact that we owe everything to an inheritance that's been passed on to us. And I think today, especially in woke culture, in secondary and higher education, what dominates is a spirit. And in elite culture more broadly, what dominates is a spirit of repudiation and negation. So instead of, yes, being self-critical, but in an affirming way that recognizes that, even our capacity to be critical is based on principles of justice and freedom that have been passed to us by our forebears. But when we institutionalize a spirit of ingratitude, when we teach young people to loathe their country or loathe themselves, and that we give an utterly one-sided account of our civilizational inheritance, then I think the civic and social bond, it begins to fray, and eventually, of course, it collapses. So, but you're right, Edmund Burke was the great friend of the American Revolution and critic of the more totalitarian French Revolution, who told us that society is a contract between the living, the dead, and the yet to be born. We have to have the whole picture. And again, we need a politics that is rooted in some sense in gratitude for our country, gratitude that's been passed on to us. So I think that spirit is really under challenge, and unless we do something to encourage just a broader atmosphere of appreciation, a sense of our debts, then it's very hard to hold the country together and to pass on civilized values to the next generation.
Well, let me play devil's advocate for a moment here. The neo-Jacobin who is able to compose themselves and speak at room temperature for 5 seconds, which is rare in and of itself. But if there was such a person that existed, they might say, Professor, well, wait a second. I believe in America. I believe in America, what she can be. I believe in the America that's outlined in our foundational documents, and what we're doing is in advance of that more perfect union. And so one of the things that we need to do is make redress of past wrongs. And until we restore a sense of justice for past wrongs, we can't have justice prospectively. And this is why we need to make amends to blacks who still suffer from the legacies of slavery, and other minority groups who were treated poorly under American law or within American culture, even to this day, including marginalized minorities of the day, like the LGBT.
Still great resources in this country to draw upon. I don't think that's the attitude we see at all today. I think it's not just an appeal for redress. It's a more revolutionary attitude that says the 1619 Project, for example, says that the founding principles were wrong-headed and unjust and exploitative from the very beginning, that slavery is the spirit and letter of the American project. And more broadly, that Western civilization is simply a long record of domination and exploitation. And I just don't think with radical ideology you have any emphasis that we have any noble aspect to our tradition or principles that we can draw upon for redress. The other thing I would say is this kind of ideology make so-called minority groups or the marginalized permanent victims. So all evil comes from certain groups of people just for whom they are, like white males, and then everyone else is a permanent victim, hapless, with no ability to act, in the moral area or civic realm. And, you don't do anyone any good by, someone like Robert Woodson, the great black community activist, has emphasized when you tell people they're not resilient, that they don't have the capacity to improve themselves, that the country they belong to is more or less evil, you don't help people. You place them in a permanent status of helplessness. So, the spirit I'm laying out, the spirit I call for in my speech on A Time for Greatness, Courage and Moderation, is not only about a spirit of gratitude, but it's also about the need for reform, to live up to our principles and all of that. But we can only do that if we acknowledge what's legitimate and good and just and noble in our own tradition. So, I would say... Yeah.
Do you think that the victimhood that we have right now in this culture is ever going to go away? Because now people are being upset and they feel victimized just by the wrong pronouns being used, by words.
Oh yeah, no. I think this is nihilism. This is an attitude that encourages permanent resentment and victimization. And by the way, I don't think there's such a thing as the LGBTQ++ community. I know many homosexuals who are conservative-minded, who don't believe in transgenderism, who don't believe you can invent your own pronouns, and that there's no connections between our bodies and our souls and all of this. So this is an artificial ideological community. It's not to say that we haven't made tremendous progress in this country in acknowledging greater freedom for Americans who happen to be homosexuals, but to push this into a gender ideology that, is encouraging genital mutilation or second graders to come up with their own pronouns, that denies, any natural grounding for the very real distinction between men and women, by the way, was the basis of civilization, procreation, and citizenship. I think that's a horse of a different color. You've entered a realm of extremism that is just not compatible with good sense and civic moderation. So I think we just need a little courage in making distinctions, and any movement that has to add a new consonant every year or two, is somehow it's collecting victims rather than trying to find a path forward. And
solidarity and marginality, right?
That's exactly right. And
yeah.
Again, when you tell people they're permanently marginal, that they're permanently victims, that they have no genuine free will and freedom to act, you encourage division, hopelessness, and despair.
You also encourage, ironically, the lack of restraint. Shelby Steele, perhaps, has written most persuasively on this, in my estimation, this culture of deference. So we have no capacity to say anything is right or wrong. We have designated you in this way, victim. And so whatever you do, you do. There are no norms to which we expect you to abide, the same norms that we do abide ourselves, sort of bringing in Charles Murray a little bit. We don't preach what we practice when it comes to particular communities, because we just defer, and that lack of restraint further atomizes those communities, specifically, when Shelby Steele's writing about it, Black Americans.
Well, I agree with you that Shelby Steele, who is an African American, is simply the most intelligent and discerning and eloquent writer on race in America, and how white guilt has been a major force for holding the Black community down. And I think that, absolutely. When people need to have a sense that whites need to overcome this sense that somehow they alone are responsible for the fate of minority Americans, and in an odd way, by a kind of paternalism rooted with guilt, instead of helping, it continues this sense that minorities are simply, any progress they make or don't make is simply at the behest of the majority population. I think that it's a kind of debilitating guilt that confirms the status of victimization and exploitation of minority. I think the spirit of Frederick Douglass, of pride and resilience, is the right spirit to encourage and celebrate. I heard a speech, I think it was way back in 1989, so this is not so recent. Houston Baker, who was a Black professor, president of the Modern Language Association, gave a talk called "Why Johnny and Janetta Cannot Read," and he was celebrating illiteracy in minority communities as a form of rebellion against hegemonic culture. As if, coming back to your main point, that as if not learning the arts of literacy, not getting educated, not developing bourgeois habits of work and productivity were somehow, those were white things that ought to be avoided by so-called victim groups. And I can't think of anything that's more nihilistic, more of an invitation to the permanent despair, permanent helplessness. And yet this was put forward by a very successful minority educator who seemed to be unaware that this was not the path he himself had followed.
And it seems to me one more just aspect of this conversation about restraint, since you talk about moderation. A lot of people think, I'm a moderate person, I'm a sensible person, I'm a common sensible person. I don't the far right and the far left, and I'm nowhere, I'm in the middle, I'm the reasonable, enlightened person. But they're also a proponent of the lack of restraint, and they don't even realize it. Even some conservatives, I'm sure you hear this all the time, conservatives that think that libertinism is synonymous with liberty, and say, if somebody wants to spend the paycheck at the video gambling hall and pay for their girlfriend's abortion and smoke dope. I mean, they're an adult. They do what they want. It's none of my business. Is talking about, and not necessarily even from a legal perspective, but possibly including a legal perspective, more of a normative perspective, social mores. I mean, is that something that conservatives should be unconcerned about when we talk about moderation and restraint, and we have even center-right people promoting, well, nihilism, as you said?
Well, I know I couldn't agree more. A free society depends on citizens, on social actors, on moral actors who show self-restraint. Alexander Solzhenitsyn called it voluntary self-limitation. That's really another term, a little bit longer term for moderation. Moderation means using your freedom well, not using it to excess. Yeah, I think conservatives make a mistake when they succumb to a kind of libertarianism or radical libertarianism that excuses libertinism. I think it was a mistake to legalize gambling, scratch tickets and lotteries in, most of our states. I think it's, kind of a regressive tax against the poor and the least responsible. I think this attitude that people can do. I had a visiting physician at Princeton University a couple of years ago, and I was driving back and forth from Princeton, New Jersey to my home in Massachusetts. Every 5 miles I saw a sign for a pot dispensary. And, this idea, you have 30 and 40-year-old guys, with so-called disabilities who are living in their parents' basement, smoking pot and not working. This is hardly a model of of American manhood, So, no, I think we have to be much more sensitive to how we exercise our freedom. And if we exercise it irresponsibly, if we adopt a laissez-faire view that people can do whatever they want with their freedom, which is just a kind of lazy moral relativism, then, the social bond phrase, and we know that we need to talk more about character. We're not talking about, moralism. We're talking about showing some sense, some appreciation of the need to develop character. And that's why my talk I was appealing to the cardinal virtues, courage, justice, prudence, and temperance. And without those, freedom is nothing. And it's very, very hard, It was one thing to have a separation of church and state, which has many, many advantages, but that separation has now become almost a separation of politics from morality or the good life. And that's a very different thing. A political community can't be neutral between right and wrong, truth and falsehood and all that. Again, it doesn't mean large coercive government, but it means free men and women who are willing to govern themselves in their own lives. And I don't even think we talk about that in public education today, and probably not much in private education either.
Daniel Mahoney is professor of politics at Assumption College. He's also the author of the book, The Statesman as Thinker, Portraits of Greatness, Courage, and Moderation. Professor Mahoney, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Really enjoyed it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Everyone knows that crime is on the rise. It's imperative that law enforcement agents have the information they need to keep citizens safe and protect themselves as well. If you are a sworn law enforcement agent certified in the state of Illinois and working for an agency in Illinois, you might be interested in this announcement. Would you like to have an on-the-job decision-making tool at your fingertips? Law Enforcement Agency Data Systems information is available to you at an affordable price when you use the Illinois Public Safety Agency Network products, Bullet or Mini Bullet. Your Android or Apple-based handheld mobile device, phone or tablet can receive this data. In addition, your desktop or laptop can also receive this information via the internet. Just call the Illinois Public Safety Agency Network at 773-693-3000. or visit ipsan.org. And Pilot Bullet or Mini Bullet. That's 773-693-3000 or visit ipsan.org.
Whether it's eating up, so are the savings at Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst.
By the way, what hole was that? It was a par 3. If you got the hole in one, you got the Mazda.
4th hole.
Yeah. When we
Yesterday's
went up,
golf outing.
Yeah. So when my awesome group went up to hit the ball off the tee, excuse me, they pulled away and drove off.
They were afraid Gary Groh was going to knock it in. I'm sure
They looked at us.
I'm sure that
this group's not so good. They're old.
I'm sure the deal would have stood. But what the message was is don't take 6 hours to play a round of golf, which I can respect actually, because that was our last hole, so it wasn't there when we were there as well. So
did your group bring you flowers?
Stop your whining.
I'm not whining.
No.
You want some?
No, I don't want flowers. And yes, they did. If you're looking for a new or pre-owned Mazda, you'll need to visit Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst. You'll find the Mazda you want now that they brought all their Mazdas back to the dealership from our golf outing. And the price you see is the price you get. No games, no gimmicks. Right now is a great time to buy a new Mazda with limited time incentives that only come around once a year. You can lease a 2023 Mazda CX-30 for $286 a month or a 2023 Mazda CX-5 for $319 a month. That's 36 months with approved credit for from Mazda Capital Services for qualified buyers. Just add license, title, tax, and the $324.24 dock fee. Plus, stop in today and ask about the all-new 2024 Mazda CX-90, which is a popular model. And to keep your Mazda running great all year round, schedule your next service appointment online at WilkinsMazdaCars.com. Wilkins Mazda is conveniently located in Elmhurst, off York Road and 290, just minutes from Oak Brook, the city, and Schaumburg. Experience the next level of excellence at Wilkins Mazda in Elmhurst. Visit WilkinsMazdaCars.com. See dealer for details.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, I know it's Open Mic Friday, but we'll have something that may change you forever if you see it.
Because it changed, that's a reporter, Sandra
Smith
Sandra
from
Smith,
Wheaton, from where you're from. So
where'd she go to school?
I don't know.
Let's
I'll
find out.
I'll
get somebody
Google
on
it.
That. Yeah.
Louisiana State.
No, but where'd she go to school locally?
Oh, locally, I don't know.
This is Chicago, Mike. We just care where people went to high school. We don't care where they went to college.
She ran track at Louisiana State.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Did she really? Oh, boy.
She's beautiful, too.
SEC, wow.
That's
All right,
something
that's
that changed her life, guys. Okay?
All right, we'll have a full biography on Sandra Smith at 8:38 for Open Mic Friday. Now we check the headlines with Mike Scott.
72 degrees at 8:32. Investigators are continuing to search for any insight into how a catastrophic implosion killed all 5 passengers on board that Titan submersible. Officials have yet to conclusively determine whether the devastating implosion occurred last Sunday when the submersible stopped communicating. New information is out about how 2 whistleblowers who claim Hunter Biden got preferential treatment during the IRS investigation into his tax problems were treated. Fox's Kevin Cork has more.
The House Ways and Means Committee is releasing testimony from a pair of IRS whistleblowers who say the DOJ, the FBI, and IRS all interfered with the investigation of the tax evasion case against Hunter Biden. According to committee chairman Jason Smith of Missouri, whistleblowers describe how the Biden Justice Department intervened and overstepped in a campaign to protect the son of Joe Biden by denying an ongoing investigation into Hunter Biden's alleged tax crimes. However, there are Democrats like Hakeem Jeffries who reject the allegations of favoritism for Hunter Biden, saying this is not serious, period, full stop.
The Justice Department denied the whistleblower claims. I-95 in Philadelphia reopening today.
The stretch of I-95 will reopen today at noon, but keep in mind there will be fewer lanes in this section, and those lanes will be more narrow, which means a dip in speed limit and potentially some lingering traffic.
The highway has been closed for nearly 2 weeks. Parts of Colorado feeling the effects of a storm that included reports of a tornado and baseball-sized hail on Thursday. Bags of fruit frozen, sold at Walmart, are being recalled because of a possible listeria contamination. The FDA says several fruit products, including Great Value 16-ounce bags of cherries, are part of the recall, including bags of fruit as well from Whole Foods, part of their organic 365 brand. A woman stands accused of instructing her teen son to kill a man at a Chicago hot dog stand last weekend. Carlisha Hood and her 14-year-old son are both facing murder charges. Bond set at $200,000 for the man charged in a hit-and-run crash near Guaranteed Rate Field that sent several to the hospital. Authorities are investigating a deadly motorcycle crash on Chicago's north side. It happened in the 7700 block of North Sheridan Road last night. And Governor Pritzker is now extending Illinois' cocktails to go law for another 5 years through August of 2028. You may recall that pandemic-era law allows restaurants and bars to provide carry-out and curbside delivery and pickup of mixed drinks and single servings of wine. Cubs and Cardinals in London this weekend, while the White Sox take on the Red Sox, and the Bulls end up with a draft pick last night after all, sending a pair of future second-round picks to the Wizards in order to select Tennessee forward and project Julian Phillips. The news service of MyPillow, the 2.0 is machine washable, dryable, a 60-day money-back guarantee. Visit MyPillow.com, promo code LIBERTY. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher explains Trump's surge.
Sunday morning shows yesterday, they're all in various levels of hysteria over Trump. They cannot figure out why he keeps surging in popularity. They don't even understand it. Newsflash, Americans are rejecting the politically motivated prosecution that he's undergoing.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
It took a panicked run on a major bank to lead to the second biggest bank failure in U.S. history. And Moody's just downgraded the entire U.S. banking system from stable to negative. Just a reminder why many people diversify their portfolios with something tangible, something that doesn't need bailing out, something that can't vanish into thin air. Learn the truth in Swiss America's shocking report, The Secret War on Cash. This all-out war against cash is a war against the Constitution, against all freedom-loving Americans. You must read The Secret War on Cash. Get your free copy by calling or texting 800-630-1495. That's 800-630-1495. This all-out war on cash, digital forms of currency too, is growing daily. So please get and read The Secret War on Cash, free to Salem listeners by calling or texting now at 800-630-1495. Make sure you mention Salem when you call or text 800-630-1495.
This is Sean Thompson, and I'm proud to tell you about the great work of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, a new partner of ours here at AM 560. Born on America's darkest day of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been helping America's heroes ever since. When a first responder or military service member doesn't come home and young children are left behind, Tunnel to Towers pays the mortgage on the family home to lift the financial burden and bring stability. For catastrophically injured veterans and first responders, Tunnel to Towers builds mortgage-free smart homes, giving our most severely injured heroes the ability to live more independent lives. You can help America's heroes and their families by supporting the Tunnel to Towers Foundation when you make a small donation of just $11 a month. Go to T2T.org. That's T, the number 2, T.org. T2T.org.
Attention homeowners. When selling a home, the goal is to minimize your stress and maximize your bottom line. Did you know you can set your selling price and closing date before ever going on the market? Don't go it alone. For over 35 years, the Wexler Group has been minimizing stress for homeowners. Choose one of their top selling programs. Know your closing date and sale price before ever going on the market. The Instant Offer program allows you to sell fast. No hassle, no sign, no online photos, and no cleanup or clean out. With the Guaranteed Sale program, you'll explode onto the market, going for top dollar while already knowing your bottom line and preferred closing date. Either way, know your closing date and sale price first. With the Wexler Group at Keller Williams Preferred Realty Realty, you choose the closing date and sale price up front, and we do the rest. Call 708-629-5151. That's 708-629-5151 or thewexlergroup.com. Make this move your best move ever. Tammy Northcutt and Ron Wexler are Illinois licensed realtors serving 100% of Chicago and its suburbs.
It is 8:39. Quick check on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, a service of Discover. Discover cards do something pretty awesome. At the end of your first year, they automatically double all the cash back you've earned. Double the cash back from trips, restaurants. Double. See terms and check it out yourself. Discover.com/match. Kennedy sitting at 1 hour right now. O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. The Ike at an hour in, 390 to the old post office. The Ryan at a half hour from 95th into the Burns Circle. And jammed up because of an earlier accident inbound 43rd to Canalport. Watch out for a bad accident. The intersection is closed this morning. Pulaski Road between 59th and 60th. Mostly on the southbound side. We understand some northbounders are squeezing through, but it's very busy. Again, southbound Pulaski shut down because of that bad accident at 59. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Sunny today and a high of 85. 72 right now. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Open mic! Open mic Friday! Calling now! Open mic Friday!
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, that time of the week. Open Mic Friday, taking your calls, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, comments, compliments, concerns, criticisms, general crack pottery. We'll take it all.
Somebody just texted in, catastrophic implosion. That was the name of my junior high garage band. Hashtag too soon.
Not too soon.
You're telling me about some memes that were going on.
There were some memes, you know, like, for example, it's a little gallows humor. It's not intended to be disrespectful of the dead, obviously, but Titanic 2, Rich People 0.
Oh.
They crossed off, and there's a Google search screenshot crossing off 1,503 died on the Titanic to 1,508.
Oh, dear. Come on.
You asked about the memes that are circulating. I'm just describing them.
Well, talking about catastrophes, Sandra Smith.
Wait, hold on. I got another one.
Oh, no. Here we go.
I got another one here. What was the one? I like this. This one was actually pretty good, and it wasn't. Can we get some music while I'm looking this up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's real funny stuff. That was a good one.
All right. It's like a septic tank, $3,500, and I'll take you to the bottom of the Ohio River.
It did look like a septic tank.
It's not bad.
I wonder if it was made out of a septic tank.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
With your Sandra
All right, so
Smith
Sandra
from
Smith,
Wheaton Warrenville South graduate, by the way.
Thank you, and she ran track. She was a long-distance runner, did the steeplechase, ended up at LSU in track. Was at ISU for a little bit. She has seen something catastrophic. Yeah, you missed your chance with a hot blonde with blue eyes.
ISU is I screwed up.
Oh.
Not I screwed up because I didn't get Sandra Smith. No, ISU.
I screwed up. I never heard that acronym before. That's pretty funny. She saw something catastrophic on the streets of New York, and it has changed her.
The comment about defecating, it gets to me because this has recently happened to me here in New York City where
you were defecating?
No, but I saw someone defecating, and by the way, it was like within 3 feet of a police car.
Wow.
And it changes you. It's awful. It's really awful to see, and I really feel for these folks who have tried to hang on and live in a city that they love. But
Why did you
that's not the
continue
case so
watching?
much anymore. In this 2-week arrest period, the 45 arrests, only 3 people were from San Francisco. These people who are committing these crimes aren't even from there, first of all. And now just to go shopping, you're going to have to walk through metal detectors.
It was catastrophic.
The defecating changes you. Sandra Smith died that day.
No, a little piece of
when she saw the deuce drop near the cop car.
I saw a deuce drop under the Lawrence Bridge. I didn't change. I was pissed.
Yeah.
Like, just the difference between us and animals is we're supposed to be civil. We're supposed to use silverware. We're supposed to pee and poop in a toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least in the woods where no one's watching.
Mm-hmm.
Not out in public.
I've heard that before, though, that seeing someone defecate can really change you. I think Jack Prickhouse said that.
Oh.
312-642-5600, turkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turkey.pro text line. Bob in Buffalo Grove.
Good morning, Amy and Dan. Thanks for getting to me. You noted earlier, idling cars. Well, guess what? I have one.
That was the name of my high school band, and it was, ironically, a Cars tribute band. I was the Rick Ocasek frontman.
I can see that. You kind of look like him. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It works pretty good, except for one difficulty. When I pull into the garage and make a stop, it shuts down, and then I have to get it restarted again. And one more thing, I don't know if you'll let me do it, but I'd like to give a plug and an announcement to you and your listeners. Tomorrow, I'll be exhibiting at the Museum of Science and Industry on structural engineering. A few of my colleagues and I will show how Chicago buildings stand up, and also how, sadly, a few bridges sometimes come down. And that's at their program, Engineering Your Future, in the Rotunda of the museum. So hopefully I'll see some of your listeners. Have a great weekend.
Very good, Bob.
Congratulations, Bob. That's huge.
Bob the engineer. All right.
We didn't ask him about the Titan, but, well.
Eduardo at Tampa.
Formerly of Midway.
Right. You remember, yeah. So, I don't know, should I be talking about my former company or should I be talking about the fact that UK is 8% inflation? I don't know, which one?
What's your former company?
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Oh, I don't...
They're the sponsor of that race that's going to be going around in Millennium Park.
Oh, that's
they're
right.
Just profiteering. Yeah, well, they're just there to, I mean, they're not like, we're promoting healthcare and, they're just there to get their name just like any corporation.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call, Eduardo. Appreciate it. Tom in Blue Island, he was at the golf outing yesterday. Not a bad golfer.
He played in the morning and in the afternoon, right, Tom?
Not a bad golf striker from what I saw because I was behind him. Oh. Him and Mary Kay from Western Springs.
Well, Dan, earlier Amy was, she was complaining about getting kind of hit upon, not by men, but by golf balls yesterday. And Amy, I'll tell you, I wanted to apologize for being one of those that almost clipped you and not
the guy teeing off at 18 or with the one at 4?
Well, I'm going to tell you, hey, we took a couple rounds of incoming on our first 2 holes from the group behind us. The first hole seemed like it, might have been a warning, a little golf warning to hustle up. But the second rounds, they buzzed the tower, which to golfers, that's a little colloquialism for right on top of us, on top of a par 3. No one yelled 4. And I'm going to tell you, I've never questioned PTSD, but I've always thought some of it's a little bit of BS. After that, Amy, I couldn't hit an iron all day. We were defenseless in the middle of these fairways, never knowing when the next attack was coming.
We were at war.
And you got to understand, my foursome was made up of a happily married mother of a few decades, a senior citizen, and a not too recovered alcoholic. Stop crying. A little traumatic.
Stop crying, victim. Hey, wait a second. Wait, what par 3 did we hit in? Because I was the group behind him, as I said. What par 3 did we hit into you on?
Second hole, Dan.
How was that?
So the first hole, 5 was a par 5, and then 6, you didn't hit into us, but 2 of your guys sliced their drives onto the next tee.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, sorry.
Remember, there was like 3 groups on that hole because it was a short par 4. But
these are guys from Central Illinois. They don't. They're they go to the bathroom in outhouses. They don't have shoes.
Well,
you have to
they
understand.
don't have electricity.
They've never
right.
been to Barrington before.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, Amy. I know something that I have a lot more insight on golf than Dan Proft probably does, and that's Shanks.
Yes.
What do you say?
Yes, you
and there's
do.
3 things. Hey,
Shanks.
there's
Yeah.
3 things about Shanks. The first thing is
Don't
the
say
first
it.
shank ruins your round for the rest of the day. The second thing about it is when you hit one at someone, which is kind of the shank that went in your direction, at first you got to chuckle a little bit. And then, Dan, the third one is the person that it's approaching, they never have any idea where in the hell it's coming from. So, Amy, when that shank was getting towards you and you didn't see where it was coming from, but I saw it was you over there, I got to admit I had a little bit of a dark chuckle at the fact that it was your co-host or his team that nailed into us the first couple of holes.
Thanks for the call, Tom.
For the breakdown of the game.
First of all, I don't like hearing that word uttered. That's like moist. That's actually worse than moist.
Okay, I don't
that
like
word.
Please stop saying that. Why are you saying that word?
Well, because I'm just trying to drive home the point that I don't want to hear that word. You're not supposed to say that word, Tom from Blue Island. You know better than that. Bob in Naperville.
Yeah, I just thought I'd make this quick comment. We hear so much depressing news on your wonderful show, whether it's a Supreme Court justice who can't define a woman and men racing against women, and, the list goes on and on and on. But one thing always puts a smile on my face, and that's when I think you played a clip or you at least shared the story of the town of Lisle had a village board meeting, and they were contemplating having chickens in your backyard. And the mayor of Lisle asked at this meeting, what if a chicken identifies as a duck?
No,
and that
Yes.
totally ticked off.
No.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, right. That was that was a while back.
So I usually end the Dan and Amy show thinking about that comment.
That is a great one.
I'll take you time to tape. Thanks.
We'll that's an instant classic. We'll see if we can pull that. Yeah.
How long ago did that happen?
Do you have like a short-term memory
Well, I might have
problem?
been off that day. I don't remember
No.
the chicken and the duck.
No.
I'm just saying.
No. You were not off. You were just
Was
off.
it a year ago? Hey.
Uh,
Hey, watch it there. It'll happen to you, little man.
Greg in LaGrange.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
I find it absolutely pathetic that the Never Trumpers, and this is going back to where, Hinderaker, still are admitting that Joe Biden has been a flawed human being his entire life and basically saying he's been a liar and corrupt. Still would vote for somebody like him than Donald Trump if he
Oh,
came.
Hindraker would not vote for Biden over Trump. That's not what Hindraker's saying. No. No. I know, John. That is not what he's saying. He's a proponent of DeSantis, but he is not a never Trumper. He's not going to that side under any circumstances.
And here's the thing, Dan, and I don't care how you say it or anybody says it, not you specifically. You've pointed out Ron DeSantis has never answered the question of why he's doing it. Trump's sell-by date is expired with his name calling. I get it. It bothers me a lot, and I'm not saying I'd even vote for him in a primary. But the Never Trumpers would never vote for him, no matter what, no matter who comes out on the other side, no matter the record in Afghanistan, the border with children, the inflation. They don't care because their brains are miswired. They can't see the forest through the trees. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for the call,
I gotta
Greg.
tell you, this pro DeSantis pack just posted this bizarre Star Wars.
Never back down, right?
Yeah, portraying DeSantis as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Trump as Darth Vader. It's really rubs me the wrong way. What are they doing?
That's the PAC that Ken Cuccinelli's running, who we had on the show earlier this week. And I like Ken, and but I have not been impressed by the messaging from the PAC so far. I just haven't been.
It's so stupid. It's just it doesn't. Who
By
are
the
they
way,
trying to get to?
we're efforting the Chris Pisak, I think is the Lyle Mayor with the chicken farm comment, and we're efforting that. So stay tuned. Frank, Arlington Heights.
Hey, good morning. So I've been doing history lessons with you the last couple Fridays here. So
yeah.
Continue in that vein here, if you'd permit me. Ashland Avenue.
Oh,
Amy, you live near there.
Been there since 1996.
Yes, it's
Melvina, Paulina,
and Ashland.
It's different. Yeah, it's a different thing. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Sure, it's actually named after Henry Clay's estate down in Lexington, Kentucky, which was a nice little mansion. I've actually visited it down there in Lexington, but I found out
the Great Compromiser.
The Great Compromiser,
Henry
correct?
Clay. Yeah.
And that actually burned. He died in 1852. It burned down, and then his son rebuilt it according to the plan. So the one you go into, if you go there, is actually a rebuilt one, which is, by the way, the same thing with the Appomattox Courthouse. If you ever go there, the McLean Courthouse in Appomattox, where Lee surrendered to Grant, that house got torn down. They rebuilt it in D.C., and then they fell apart. The bricks were sitting there, and then somebody rebuilt it according to the plans.
The bitch set me up. Oh, no, that's a different D.C. thing.
What?
So,
Why is that street named after him?
Yeah. All right.
Henry Clay.
Yeah.
Henry Clay lost 3 times for the presidency.
Oh.
1824, 1832, 1844.
Loser lady.
Do you know the other? He was a Democrat who lost 3 times with a major party nomination as well.
Well, he founded the. What's that?
He was known as He was known as the Great Commoner.
Great Compromiser.
No. Who was the other guy?
Oh.
Candidate later on.
Who was the other guy who? I'm sorry. Say that.
Democratic candidate.
He lost. Major presidential candidate. He lost. He was a Democrat. He lost 3 times in the general election. He was known as the Great Commoner, and he gave a Cross of Gold speech.
William Jennings Bryan.
William Jennings Bryan, correct.
Yeah.
Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah.
You are
He also died right after the Scopes monkey trial.
Yes. How ironic.
The Scopes monkey trial.
How ironic, exactly.
And who represented Scopes?
Clarence Darrow, who
good.
lived here in Chicago and was very much a libertine.
And what was the name of the great movie that memorialized the Scopes monkey trial?
I do not know that.
What?
No, I don't know that one. No, it's something I don't know.
Frank in Arlington Heights, you don't know the name of the movie that memorialized the Scopes monkey trial? Who was the reporter who gained some renown in the Emerald City because of his coverage of the Scopes monkey trial?
I don't know that one either.
H.L. Mencken.
Oh, I do love H.L. Mencken.
Yeah.
Yes, from Baltimore.
That's
correct.
right. And you don't know the movie?
No, I do not. Tell me.
I'm not allowed. I don't know if I'm going to. No, To Kill it. No, I don't know if I'm going to allow you to teach young people anymore.
Oh, will you come on? What's the movie?
Inherit the Wind.
Oh,
I've heard of it, but
I've
never seen it.
Frank, you have a homework assignment this weekend, young man, and you better report. I want to report on my desk at 9 a.m. on Monday.
Well, I'm going to have a trivia question for Amy next week. So,
all right, very good.
Well,
that's
take care.
She's going to need to phone a friend. Thanks for the call, Frank. All right, Chuck in Delavan, Wisconsin.
Hey, how you doing? I want to thank Tom of Blue Island for naming a couple of my garage bands. Almost Clipped You, and then Nobody Else For. That was a good band.
Somebody texted in Moist Shank is the name of the band.
Moist Shank is not bad.
Yeah.
Almost Clipped You is a pretty good band name, too.
Yeah.
Cutting Crew.
Last night at Mars, we had a big event. It was their 100th year anniversary, and everybody was there. That was anybody around Lake Geneva, but I'm Chuck from Delavan. So anyway, but there's nothing going on this weekend. I have a big meat hangover from yesterday. I probably ate 30 pounds of prime rib and ribs.
Meat hangover.
So I'm going to take it easy this weekend.
All right. Thanks for letting us know there's nothing going on in Lake Geneva this weekend, Chuck. It's very helpful. By the way, instant request.
Yeah.
This classic. Lyle Mayer, Chuck Pisak.
Biological formal name,
Okay, that's all.
Gallus
That's all I have.
domesticus or something.
That concludes my remark.
What if you have a duck that identifies as a chicken? Trustee Greco?
And that threw these woke Lyle trustees into a lather. That little quip. That's pretty funny, though. It's pretty good.
I like it.
All right.
All right. Thanks so much to all of you who attended our golf tournament to benefit Tunnels to Tower Foundation. Thanks to Justin Kosick and Quinn McCarthy, who babysat Peyton and Eli yesterday, taking them out on the course. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend. Now let's head into that newsroom. For news here at home and around the world, here is Mike Scott.
Final question. William Jennings Bryan, hometown? Salem, Illinois.
Oh, of course.
There you go.
Very good. That's good trivia.
We'll cap it at that. Cubs and Cardinals clashing in London. Sunny and 85 in your forecast. WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.
The Supreme Court may be about to rule. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. There are several key cases still to decide before the justices end their term this month, from affirmative action to a challenge to President Biden's plan to wipe out thousands in student loan debt for millions of Americans. 1 year after the court's ruling allowing states to ban abortion. So later today,
the president and vice president are expected to win the endorsements of major abortion rights groups at a political event. Planned Parenthood Action Fund, Emily's List, and NARAL are making early endorsements to raise the profile of the abortion debate a year after the Supreme Court struck down the Roe v. Wade precedent.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. House Republicans are considering impeaching President Biden. Two committees will investigate his border policies related to the record surge of illegal immigration. They are also releasing testimony in their probe into the president's son.
From two IRS whistleblowers claiming the Justice Department interfered with the investigation into Hunter Biden's taxes and foreign business dealings. From Greg Shapley and another agent whose testimony says the IRS delayed enforcement actions before elections.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. Democrats say the investigations into the president and Hunter Biden are not serious. It's now a salvage operation trying to recover pieces of the submersible that imploded on a tour down to the Titanic shipwreck.
With the Navy confirming that acoustic technology picked up sounds of an implosion just after the submersible Titan lost communication last Sunday. Friends, family, and